Winter's here, the snow is falling on our car as we drive for miles to that little town called home. Tinsel hangs from every corner of the house, and Christmas lights shine bright through the cold evening fog. And I hear sleigh bells bouncing off the halls as the church choir sings along. Feel my heart melt when you walk through those doors for Christmas. You're all I wanted was you. All I wanted was you. All I wanted was you. Christmas cheer and drinks with friends we haven't seen for a while, since I've been to that little town called home. Pine tree dressed up with every ornament we got, and stockings hung with overflowing from the top. And I hear sleigh bells bouncing off the halls as the church choir sings along. Feel my heart melt when you walk through those doors for Christmas. You're all I want. All I wanted was you. 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 And I hear sleigh bells.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the C3 Esports League Fall 2025 season. It's your boy Nate Dogg here, and I'm joined with Nuts from a former student. What hat on my head? What is this? I didn't even see that there. Well, thank you, everybody. It is my birthday. I didn't realize Mark was doing that. But I'm joined with Nuts, otherwise known as Dayton from ECU, a former student. Congratulations on graduating in your new position at NC State. But
Thanks.
I'm ready, dude. How you feeling? How you feeling?
Feeling great. It's a new season. The hat is amazing. I can't lie. But it's going great. Started the new job, and I'm getting an ad on stream. Let's go.
That's what we like to
But
see. That's what we like to see.
but
Hey, I mean, it's my birthday. Sub for no ads, bro.
I used to sub, but I had to change my debit card, so my monthly sub has stopped.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna sub. I just be paying myself at that point. I mean, but no, dude, I'm excited. I'm excited for this. I'm happy to be back. It's been a long summer. I'm ready to get the season rolling. Mark could tell you, Drip, Ethan, they can all tell you, even Nuts over here, I guess, could tell you. I have been excited. I've been talking about this for the past few weeks, and I'm ready to get these matches started. But I mean, jumping straight into it with week one. I mean, we got some big hitter matchups going straight into it. Starting things off with UNC Charlotte versus Winthrop, the first and second seed. Winthrop coming in with a pretty new roster.
Yeah. I heard through the grapevine a couple things, some
Oh God.
words, some words from one team. You know, we won't say anything other than that, but heard some words. I feel like some people would not appreciate said words.
And all I'm going to say is that it's going to be a very competitive matchup. I know one team feels like they're going to dominate the other. The other one says absolutely not. They got lucky last time. So, take that how you will, but it's going to be a great matchup. Both teams are very eager, and I'm ready to start it off with that heavy hitter. And then, the real question is Baller going to get there in time?
Praying, we're praying and hoping that
I mean, be really bad if we delay the game by 20 minutes and then it still falls apart and we're just gonna be sitting here twiddling our thumbs for the next hour. But I'm sure everybody in chat would be very happy to sit here with us. Yeah, everybody in
they,
chat happy to hang out with us.
they better be happy, or we're just gonna end stream. Nobody gets to watch the matches.
I only
Maybe it's
saw maybe
crazy.
in the stream now, Mark. There's no stream matches tonight. Everybody's a hater today. Somber coming in with the I'll stay here all night if y'all are yapping. That's what we like to see. But going into this one, another matchup we coming on is, we got Clemson University, who also picked up a new player. They have Enzo coming in, dropping Canovo to play on the B team, and now they have Beans, Mesa, and Enzo coming in. I don't know much about Enzo, but I did hear a little bit from our coach who's played against him a few times in Frost Esports. But I heard do you know anything about him?
I do not. I've heard the
You do
name.
not?
I have no idea.
Yeah, the only thing I really heard was that he's a very mechanical player. He's very much like you give him any type of space, he will double reset, double tap on you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm really curious to see how my one and only UNCW boys go against this new Clemson roster. Because we're coming up with the same one. We're gonna have that experience. What are you thinking? What are you thinking, Nuts?
I wish I had a piece of paper next to me. Yeah. So,
Say it. Okay. That is crazy. No, as my UNCW roster, we are peaking. We got an SSL, we got an almost SSL, and then Steve got up to GC3. Come on now. We're an 1800 roster. We can stand a chance. Come on. I will not take the slander. All
respectable,
right.
but you got. I mean, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Wait and see. Oh, we'll definitely see how it goes because Beans already practically told me, are y'all ready to lose tonight? I swear, I get the most slander from everyone in this league out of nowhere.
I mean, you're the league owner. That's very delusional about his team. So
That's crazy. No, I think my team's gonna come. My team's gonna come strong. My team is gonna come out strong for my birthday. It's gonna be the birthday W to start the season off. That's what we like to see.
can we
Come on,
go to the next? Can we go to the next match?
that's crazy. All right, fine.
No shade to UNCW. It's because the logo.
The
Mark,
next match we have NC State is gonna be playing against UNC Chapel Hill.
Mark, please put it up on stream, please.
Oh
Just
my
throw it up
god.
there,
Dude,
please.
why do you gotta bring it up? No, so I think it's a great logo. All right. I
I
think it's
think
a
it's a
great
great
logo.
logo too, but for an I mean it's their club logo, but
It is a
I,
club
I feel
logo,
like I feel like we're taking a step away from I want to say the aggressiveness, but like the logo they had last year, I feel was much better, more suiting for an esports team.
I would have to agree. I think the logo they developed to now is going to be a very good like club logo. I've definitely
Yeah,
seen
for
club
sure.
logos that look like that. I think it's a great logo in terms of whoever drew it, designed it. But in terms of a competitive esports logo, does not really strike fear into the heart of your
That's what I'm saying,
enemies.
especially when you're matching up against State, that their logo is literally a wolf that looks like it's ready to strike, and then you
Dude,
have a Tar Heel wearing a headset smiling. Mr.
I
Flamingo.
mean,
I think it's a
it.
great logo. It's just I think for an esports team, it's not the best. No shade. I like the logo, but I think we could have done a little better. Maybe we could have made a second logo. Maybe could have kept the old logo for your C3. I will be saying though, now that I am an employee of NC State, I can no longer um, disrespect that team. But so I will
What
be
were you
going
literally
for.
saying before stream? It was what week? What week was it?
Oh, it's hate pack week. Go Canes. We don't play until like November,
Imagine
but
pointing to a helmet that's not in frame. Dude, I'm here to troll today. I'm here to troll today.
it's hate
I'm
pack
here to
week,
troll.
boy. It's hate pack week every week.
That's fair
Great
enough.
helmet here.
Fair enough. Oh Lord. All right. Well, I guess we can.
Go on
I
to
mean,
league's expectations.
I guess we can talk a little bit about the league expectations. Honestly, let's just kind of go by a play-by-play here. I think whoever wins this matchup tonight between Winthrop and Charlotte is going to go to straight being the league favorites
Oh, it
for
has to be.
tonight. As long as it's not a forfeit. I mean, Winthrop came out and said they were going to 3-1 Charlotte, so they're going to try and take down the three-peat champions and see if they will prevent a fourth championship title to them. Because I mean, not gonna say I'm rooting for you, but somebody dethrone Charlotte, please. I need a different plate on that trophy. I can't just have Charlotte, 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 Charlotte.
It's okay. As time goes on, they have to graduate. They cannot play for Charlotte for 40
I think
years.
the last thing I heard was I think they're all sophomores or juniors, so they got another another 4 season.
Oh man, yeah, we're gonna need we'll probably need.
Clemson is not winning the league. Stop it, Somber. You're speaking false narrative right there.
I think if Charlotte wins this season, Winthrop has to throw Garrett G into this league.
If Charlotte wins the season, you have to put Garrett G
Yeah,
in the league. It's crazy.
you gotta get a different winner, bro. Like Charlotte can't win 5 straight and then go 6 straight. I mean, Knight's
Just
mom
put the
probably
pros in here to
disagrees.
snipe one season, then change it.
Get Winthrop a trophy.
I know, but other than that, I think this. I know we're trying out a new format this season, other than a standard round robin. There definitely we played with a couple different formats because round robin. I'm gonna be honest, was just not a streamable schedule.
No, that
It
was
was
kind of
not a
awful.
streamable schedule at all. It was not. There was no way to do it. So I'll just do a quick breakdown of that format. It's gonna be so we split the teams into, I would say, like just two different divisions, or yeah, two different groups. And then the idea is that you're gonna play 4 teams in your group as well as 2 out of your group games, and then also have a bye week. And the one thing I want to point out about this format is that there's going to be a lot of competitiveness, because upsets can be game changers for your chances to qualifying with this format. If you can upset someone who's a higher seed than you, it can throw off everything and throw the entire season into chaos. So that's one thing I'm going to be looking forward throughout this entire season, is I want to see some upsets.
What do you think would be a big upset?
UNCW Clemson. Let me
I
pull
feel
up the schedule again here. I'm not going to pull it up in
I feel like High Point could be, an upset. Maybe Elon. Maybe Asheville.
no.
Oh, my fault, bro. I forgot
You know,
you
I
know
love.
all.
No, I think honestly, I think the closest game that could be an upset would be NC State Wilmington, because they're practically a mirror match of each other. And I know,
Yeah.
like, based off of, because like the seeding was done with a lot of in terms of team strength and stuff like that, and calculated into it. With them being practically a mirror match, it was like a 20 to or 10 to 20 MMR difference that put Wilmington over NC State, which in turn kind of there was a big schedule difference in terms of difficulty there. And I already know
Yeah.
what everyone's gonna say.
Who has the easier
Everyone's gonna
schedule?
but I already knew what people were gonna say by the time I said that. I did not rig it for Wilmington to get an easier schedule. All right. I want my boys to earn it. If they're gonna lose out, they don't deserve to be here. That's pretty much what it is. But with that one, if NC State upsets Wilmington, it could potentially throw Wilmington's chances for qualifying out the window. with the rest of their schedule.
Well, let's hope for the best for you guys, I guess.
Yeah,
At least for
we'll
your
see.
birthday.
We'll see. Yeah, for my birthday. Don't do me dirty on my birthday, please, guys. Other than that, what do you think would be a big upset based off this schedule?
For tonight?
No, just for the season. Like, what are some upsets we should be looking out for in the season?
Let me open up a website real quick.
Oh yeah, man was
Maybe
not prepared for that question.
maybe throw me a link. Cause
They said throw you a link is
yeah,
crazy.
just possibly throw me a link over here. There's nothing coming up for that league. Oh
Yeah, let
wait,
me
I
just send
found
you
it.
a
I got it. I
screenshot
got
real
it. I
quick.
got it.
Oh, you
I
got
got
it?
it.
All right, all
Found it.
right. You found it. You found it.
All
Found
right,
it.
all right, all right. All right. So Premiere. Here we go. We're getting somewhere. All right. So stages. Okay, I have to log in. Well, I'm gonna just go off of
Dude,
tonight. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. Let's see
man was
this
not
one.
prepared. Dude
I
was
was
not
not.
prepared.
I,
You
all
know,
right, all right, all
I'll,
right,
I'll
all
spit
right.
out another.
Yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I'll spit out another one since you're unprepared for stream here.
Yeah, my fault. My
Um,
fault.
I think another big upset. I don't want to. I want to try and stay away from the more like powerhouse teams like Winthrop, Charlotte, and USC because obviously those would be big upsets if they take down each other. But I want to go for like a more of an underdog story here. Um, there is the High Point one against Greensboro, which could be a pretty big upset. I know Greensboro's schedule is already pretty difficult, so an upset would really kind of screw them over. I guess there's no other way to really say that. Let's say Coastal Carolina, NC State. That'd be a good one. The 10th and 6th seed. Coastal
Bef-
Carolina, NC State. I think that would.
Before, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I think that would be a really big upset to happen.
Oh, I can see it. Before I continue this conversation, I just want to say, can we stop living in the past? ECU lost at land to a pogo. Um, I don't need to relive it in chat through Dead Z talking about it, and then Lazy continuing to live it on.
I mean, I
We
can't
already know.
blame him though. That was a kind of a you guys kind of got memed on in that moment. Can't
Bro, shut
really
up.
blame him on that one.
Shut up.
Honestly, dude, let's bring back the BYE matchup.
It never dies, bro. It just won't go away.
Oh, anyway, I will say my expectations is that this semester is going to be a great series of matchups. This format is designed for the maximum entertainment, is designed for the best output of matches, as well as make the most intense battle for those top 8 positions at land. Are there any
Oh yeah.
matches that you see that you feel particularly excited for?
I'm looking at some of the stream games we have, and one that's really piquing my interest is Charlotte and State. I feel like that's gonna be a pretty good game.
Really? I
From
feel like I don't feel like State's
well,
going to stand a chance.
but like from what I've been told, it seems like State kind of picked up a better roster from what they had last
They
year.
did. They did. I mean, I haven't seen them play yet. I feel like they're kind of the wild card here for the coming in at the 6th seed. I think they're going to be the wild card team because I mean
Yeah.
they could go crazy or they could get they could get sober pinched on again by somebody. Um, it could be. That's a callback to a couple seasons ago when Chief Not Sober hit the most outlandish like backboard pinch into their net that should not have worked.
Yeah. That's my
But
goat then.
I mean,
Uh,
I don't know.
I'm thinking another one that's gonna be pretty good. Winthrop in South Carolina.
That could be a good one. Yeah, I
That
think
could
that
be a
one's gonna be
banger.
really interesting because I know that one was a big toss up for because I know USC we had Katz graduate. Congratulations to him, and they picked up I think it was Turnip who took his place. Now it's Turnip, SJT, and Og playing against
Mm.
Winthrop. When they have 2 new players on their roster this semester. They have Nakari, who's the previous one. Then they have Phantom, and I think it was T Neck or T Kek. I don't know. So I mean that's gonna be a good game. That's gonna be a real deciding factor there.
I don't know. There's so many good. There's actually like a lot of good games to go through.
I know I was very happy with the schedule, with the way it popped out. Um, hey, at least if NC State quals this time, they won't be able to not come.
That's insane. Why,
And I
bro?
mean that with utmost friendliness and no disrespect.
Yeah, okay.
Because I mean that's a big thing that we have happening this season is we're going to be holding the LAN at NC State's campus this year, and we're very excited about that one. I'm very excited to get that one rolling. It's going to be we have luckily they've been grateful. They've been nice enough to us to let us use all the equipment, everything like that for no charge.
Guess
Free.
guess who finally gets to
Um,
work and get paid?
not this guy.
I won't be getting paid by you, but yeah, I will be
I'm on
getting
the
paid to
list, the
finally work
op
a
list.
land.
Dude, I can't look, Maury, it's nothing against you, man. It's nothing against you. The previous team qualified 3 seasons in a row and didn't come to land.
Bro, they
3
didn't want to make
seasons
the
in a
drive.
row.
I mean, I
Like,
wouldn't want to make the drive either if I was on that roster gonna go out after Saturday.
that's crazy. That's
I mean,
crazy.
it
Says the one that made the drive to come out and work for free.
uh,
Dude, I miss this podcast. It's literally just us just trash talking each other.
bro, Knight said no, you guys can't miss it. It's at state. But that's
Dude,
insane.
if people in chat haven't realized that I'm an instigator yet and I'm all about that entertainment factor, I don't know what to tell you.
Bro, lazy, shut up, brother. There's gonna be a day your ego gets deflated, and I can't wait. I'm hoping it's at LAN and
Well, it's
Winthrop
whenever
just
they scrim Baylor. Because
no.
they got to scrim Baylor now. Yeah, that ain't happening.
That is tragic. But it is all love. You were a great player. You just
Dude,
hurt my team, and now I'm sad for the rest of my days until somebody
I
gets
mean,
my lick back for me.
that's true. That's true. I think it's going to be a fun season. Even so, like the way it's designed, even in Group 2, there's going to be lots of very very close competition, and I'm excited to see how it all plays out.
Yeah,
I think the biggest wild card of this season is going to be how the lower half plays out. Because based off of my spreadsheet here, if there are like any upsets, it's going to throw that whole bottom half in like the chaos in terms of win loss.
yeah.
So I think it's going to be crazy.
It's gonna be an interesting season. I can't wait to actually see some of these teams. From what you've been telling me, how they've gotten some better rosters
Yeah.
from being like bottom tier teams last season to now being teams that can possibly compete for that land spot. That's gonna be pretty good.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, I know Greensboro's got some new players. NC State, like we were saying, has got some new ones. I think they actually, I think they picked up what's his name? Look at their roster real quick. Let's look at their match here.
Wasn't
Who they?
Greensboro the school that had to forfeit every game last year?
No, that was A&T. A&T's actually back in
Uh,
action this semester. So
they
yeah,
got
no,
that
they
all
actually
figured out.
yeah, they did. They did.
That's good.
Yes. We're at a
Let's go.
record 14 teams in the league this semester.
Bang! Let's
So I
go.
mean, there's a lot, and we're going to continue to grow, especially if ECU comes back. Somehow, every single season we lose 2 schools due to team issues, and then we somehow still grow in numbers. So I'm all for it. There's
Well,
gonna
the
be
crazy
there's gonna be a semester where I'm finally gonna have enough to split into 2 conferences. I'm just saying, eventually, eventually.
well,
But
you
yeah,
might
no,
just have
look,
to like go into Georgia, maybe.
I know. But back to what I was saying with NC State's roster, I know they picked up Rocket, who's I know he's a really big new addition to their team. I know Redick actually knows him, and whew, he's pretty good. They got Maple Mori, Rocket, and I think is it Maple Mori? Are you in the chat? Is it Ashura?
Pretty sure
Is
it's
he?
Maple Mori. It's actually
Well,
Maple
yeah,
Mori.
yeah. There's Rocket, and I think it's Ashura as their starters, which
Uh,
should be a pretty good team. Now
Bro,
I'm confused.
all I'm gonna say is if Ventus Rocket me and Blubbernard. All I'm gonna say is you better hope State makes land because they might just lock you out and not allow you guys to play land there.
That's crazy. No, I talked to their director. He says they need to make it. They either make it or they don't. It's he would love for them to make it, but it's up to them to make it. But yeah, no, they're coming in at almost like an 1,800 roster this semester, so it's gonna be a good match. And we got the good old, like I was saying earlier, the week 1 matches. We got the North Carolina, the Tar Heel Wolfpack rivalry, but I think I might have to pick NC State as my favorite for that game.
Oh, Peck, baby.
Go Heels. Go Heels.
You
Maple
literally
Mori with the
just
we're making it. That's what I like
you
to
literally
see.
just said that you were going for NC State as your favorite, but you say go Heels.
I say go Heels because I'm a born and raised Tar Heel fan, but
What a loser! What a
I even know when to
loser,
admit when they're outmatched like their football program.
bro! They brought in an NFL coach just for him to get pooped on. I
Dietrich
mean,
Tain with another subscription with Prime. Let's go, more money. This is how you paying my fellow panelist here. But
all
anyway,
right.
I'm excited. It's gonna be a great matchup here. But we'll be back in just a few minutes with the UNC Charlotte coming in at the first seed and Winthrop in the second seed matchups, kicking things off with an absolute banger of a game. So we'll be here in just a few minutes, 7:20, maybe 7:25, depending on if everybody's there, and we will get the matches underway.
Bye bye.
Later.
Off a cliff, realize there must be more to life than this. Reaching for the stars, traveling so far, like a dragonfly. Just grab my hand from him, send with me tonight. I run away. We'll never forget the past, but what counts is our brand new start. Even if it hurts me or I get scared, just come take this risk now. We'll be prepared. I run away. I run away. Reaching for the stars, traveling so far, like a dragonfly. Keep your secrets there, hide them everywhere. Just you and I run away.
When I close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind worked backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you. can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. If my mind works backwards just for a minute, I follow you before the memories gone. I remember you. You left my spirit with you high is all I'm feeling. Remember how we felt alive. I remember you. I remember you. I remember you. You just walk right out the door. Don't wanna do this anymore. Now I'm lost without you. You drive me crazy out my mind. How'd you do this every time? Now I'm lost without you.
Welcome back into the stream, everyone. We are here with our first streamed game of fall 2025 here for C3. I'm Somber. Along with me to kick things off tonight is Colson. First and foremost, Colson, how you feeling?
Feeling good. Happy to be back. I was able to cast, fortunately enough, for C3 last year, and I'm really, really glad to be back. We got some exciting games going on today, and I'll pass it over to you. What do you think about them?
I mean, we got a 1-2, UNC Charlotte going up against Winthrop. I know there's some contention about Winthrop coming in as the 2 seed here to kick off fall, but I mean, they had an impressive summer. I know in other leagues during CCS, I don't know if you keep up with them, but Winthrop did take a big win over UNC Charlotte during their season's national championship bracket. So they have some results behind them to kind of back and justify a number 2 seed coming in for fall. And they got quite the tough roster with Tech, Phantom, and Nakari. I know Nakari can be a pop-off player at time. Phantom looked great over the summer. Now that they're knocking off some more of that rust and kind of on the uptrend, I see why they're this high ranked, but it's going to be quite the test against UNC Charlotte, who has been a three-peat champion here for C3. They've been absolutely stellar. So I'm excited to be back for the fall. I'm excited for this matchup. It's going to be an absolute banger to kick things off.
So am I. I mean, last year I was watching Charlotte. I think they've won every single trophy in this league, if I'm not mistaken. So much of the chagrin of someone else. But I'm most excited for, no bias, I swear, NC State and UNC. That is an exciting matchup for me. Again, I'll try to be as unbiased as I possibly can. But there's a new roster coming in for NC State, and I'm really, really excited to see if they can prove themselves on the pitch today.
Yeah, absolutely. And not to be neglected is the Clemson UNCW matchup. I know Nate is going to hope for some birthday buff there, but we got quite the slate in store for us here tonight, and kicking things off with UNC Charlotte and Winthrop. It looks like they're ready to hit the pitch. So, I mean, without further ado, let's get this fall semester started here for C3 2025. Kicking things off, the Niners of Charlotte versus Winthrop Esports. Let's go ahead and kick things off.
Here we go. Pretty even kickoff, but a great kickoff from Tech. Good response. A demo comes out, and Daniel is a world champion. What a great name coming out from the Charlotte guys. But early pressure coming in from Winthrop onto the Charlotte backline, able to keep the ball and constant pressure in their half.
UNC Charlotte going to be tested on defense early here as we continue to play in the blue half of the pitch for Winthrop. Going to be low resources, going to be an opportunity for UNC Charlotte to go ahead and leak out. Will be a team pinch to the backboard. It might be Bala able to get that one back mid. We'll be going once more to the infield pass. Lazy all the way back, going to take their time, grab some boost, take this one up the sidewall. Tech with a nice challenge. It's going to be Nakari following that one up. Bala back down to the ground. Nice touch from Nakari, but it's right into the hands of Knight. Going to be able to find that one downfield. Back and forth so far in this opening minute. See if we might be able to find a touch leading into a dangerous opportunity. Maybe Winthrop, one more touch to the backboard. Lazy, nice save, able to clear it through, get it over to Knight as well. But again, Winthrop doing well to get these touches to maintain pressure here in the Charlotte half.
I mean, absolutely. You look at Charlotte and that Charlotte and Winthrop 1-2. It seems, as it goes off the post, it seems like Winthrop is standing up to that number 2 ranking. It might be going for number 1 if they're able to keep up this pace of play. Although, as we know with Charlotte and as we've seen in the past, they get the pressure on you. And once they have it, it's really, really tough to pry it back from their hands.
Yeah, it's going to be a really big if here for Winthrop because we also know Charlotte is a team can start off slow but get things rolling and just absolutely dominate with their pressure as the series goes on. And you know, even in a game where they might drop game 1 and they don't look the best, they'll lock back in for those next 3 straight and make it a quick 4-game series. But still no offense to be had from either side. That's going to be a big pinch all the way down, but Bala with a full tank of boost and a nice read off the ceiling, playing it back down. Tech, nice early challenge back down on the ground. Lazy to pick up the slack, take to the skies for one more touch. Not able to get the reset. It is going to float dangerously in. Got a little bit of an AFK from Knight there in the Winthrop net. Turns this into a 2v3. Going to be handled well. We do have a Knight dropping connection here, so the 2v3 continues, but UNC Charlotte handling it well.
Yeah, surely that's not a Tech issue. I think that Knight just really has a lot of faith in his teammates, and so far they're holding up on that 2v3 pretty well as Knight joins back in. He just had to take a quick water break. No biggie. Grease the axles, get everything back into the game right and orderly. Knight, as I say that, hops back in, immediately puts one on target. Pressure is coming out for Charlotte. Could be open, but a good save from Phantom. Lazy's able to keep that back in, but is demoed for the price of that.
Back out of the corner, low boost. Just going to wrap this one around and find a touch down the pitch. Balla, free flip touch, not able to maintain possession through it. Phantom flick, going to be on target, but a great save coming out from Lazy. They had their savior in game one here and still scoreless as we enter the final 2 minutes of play in our kickoff game for the fall season here for C3. And it's going to be Charlotte still on the attack. Balla, crazy pre-jump from the midfield, going to find themselves back down to the corner and a good 50 out. Knight is waiting in the wings. A little bit late to that ball, but finds the demo. Going to clear some space for Lazy. Big time pinch. Going to be in Nakari. Fakes the touch. Phantom down below. Now on a dribble play of their own. Great midfield challenge there by Knight. Going to turn back, grab some boost, find one more. Tech, not the best touch. Balla going to get bumped by Nakari. Lazy going to put this one up to the backboard. Going to be Balla from the skies down to Lazy. They connect. And finally, the stalemate is broken and Charlotte comes out on top.
I mean, wow, great play coming out from Charlotte. Like we were mentioning earlier, that pressure that they bring towards Winthrop is really hard to break unless they put it through. Now we're back even. Nice kickoff for everyone. It looks like it's going Charlotte's way. They have a little bit of boost. Pressure is immediately back on the Winthrop half, and Lacy was up, but unfortunately beans that one right off the post. Winthrop struggling a little bit here. It's really awkward. Bar down and in. Knight putting another away. Took his quick water break, came back and slotted one in the net. Charlotte up 2-0.
This is what Charlotte knows how to do best, right? Is turn up late game. You finally get the go-ahead goal. You put a second in for safety as you hit that 60-second warning here for game number one. And it comes courtesy of Knight, able to come in and make a great play off that bar down and finds the second touch through the follow-through, but immediate response from Winthrop off the kickoff. Gonna be Phantom, grabs that big boost, has a free clear lane, Arsenal reset down, and fakes the pinch, ends up turning it into a pop, late reaction on the goal line. And this lead cut down 2-1 here, under a minute to go.
I think Phantom heard us talking, giving a little glaze over to Charlotte and said, hold on, don't forget about me, and absolutely peaks on the Charlotte defense. Berger low boost, but is able to force it right over to Tech. Hopefully he controls it well and is able to get it out, which he does. Lazy passing over to Knight, could be a shot opportunity, puts it high, just keeping a little pressure, trying to get Winthrop to waste some boost. Pressure is still on. Balla going up. It's put away into the corner safely for his teammate.
Tech with a good 50 out. Phantom finds the read, but the shot gonna find the crossbar, and the ping rings out with an extra salt on the wound there. Could have been the equalizing goal in game one for Winthrop. Phantom gonna chain dash their way around, but Lazy a little bit faster to the punch. Gonna be Nakari demoed at the midfield. Final 10 seconds. Winthrop need to find a way to drive the length of the pitch, or gonna be Charlotte putting a dagger in for game number one. Gonna be Nakari downfield. Good touch from Phantom. They have a lane. They have the dribble. Gonna be Nakari looking for the bump off the backboard. Tech bumped off the read, and UNC Charlotte, despite the 2-0 scoreline with a minute left, they barely squeaked this one out. And it is going to be an absolute banger to kick off game number one in UNC Charlotte, starting off how they left last season in the spring in winning fashion.
I mean, that's what I really wanted to see from this first game. We know that UNC Charlotte is the reigning champion and given that number one spot, but Winthrop is number two and they're looking good. Maybe their footing isn't as solid as they wanted it to be in game one, but towards the end, they had a quick response and able to bring it 2-1. I think if Winthrop is able to bring what they brought in that last minute to Charlotte in the first 4 minutes of the game and in the next remaining games, I think we could have a really good series on our hands, and I hope it goes the distance.
Yeah, I mean, UNC Charlotte definitely looked shook with the early pressure from Winthrop. It was just they kind of started to reclaim that land little by little, started to establish the midfield a little bit better. And I mean, you talk about pressure. It was UNC Charlotte with 11 shots on target. It's tough to win games when you're allowing that much to be in dangerous territory around your own net. So again, I agree. If Winthrop's able to show up and put a little bit more pressure on the Charlotte net like they did in that final minute and kind of extend that throughout the game, we got a much tighter contest. But now heading into game number two, we got UNC Charlotte kicking things off with a win, looking to put this one on triple match point, but Winthrop still trying to fight through the series.
Yeah, you saw Phantom go for the play that they used earlier to get the opening goal for Winthrop. There is a little bit of space opening up for Winthrop, and I think they're going to have to rely on those solo plays. They're going to have to rely on one teammate to beat two. As I say that, Charlotte's passing play almost comes to fruition, but unfortunately, no goal comes out for them. Pass one, pass two, net is open. Where's the third defender? Phantom is able to put that one bottom left, slow roller past the entire Charlotte defense.
Oh, got 2 to go on that final cut. Phantom slicing and dicing up the defense on that dribble play. We saw them almost do it on 000s to wrap up game number 1, and they start this one in the opening 32 seconds with a phenomenal dribble goal. But gonna be Knight off the kickoff, looking to respond quickly here, but Winthrop gonna be able to deal with that handedly. Phantom to the backboard. Lazy touchdown. Nakari almost got the read. Tech going to be just beat out, but a long clear. Going to provide some time and space here for Phantom. Would play it past 150 against 2 in the corner. Lazy already up on the read. Flip reset. Not much boost. Going to play it back down and put a quick flick on target. Knight with the rebound off the backboard once more. Ball out of the corner for a second touch, but Winthrop smothering on the defense. Now looking for the counter. Flip reset low by Phantom will not be good. Tech narrow angle sets up Nakari, but Knight comes in and plays spoiler to that counter.
Yeah, counterattack's looking good for Winthrop. I mean, the only thing you could ask for is it to be in the back of the net, but other than that, they look really good, really composed, not folding under the Charlotte pressure like they did in game 1. As I say that, they get even more pressure onto Charlotte with the demo coming out by Tech. Phantom loves to go low on those, loves to get a little arsenal reset and keep going it low. Berger around one could be open. What a save coming out from Knight. Balla to Lazy, one-on-one. I think Lazy does well to get it out, buy some time for his teammates to get some boost.
Balla up to the backboard. Nakari low boost. Will not find the touch. Tech going to opt to grab that corner and look to play some defense. A little bit of a 50-50 on the goal line. Knight going to try to keep it alive here in the orange corner, and then Balla to carry over the play. Looking for the backboard once more. Phantom back out to Tech. Goes late on the 50. Able to get a quick beat, was Lazy and put a shot on target. Doesn't register as much of a threat here for Winthrop as they're able to establish a little bit of a midfield presence and keep that one in Charlotte territory for now. We do find ourselves back with Charlotte looking for a possession. Infield pass again at the midfield. Tech going to be able to find a 50 off the missed touch. Right back into the hands of Phantom. Back down towards mid. Lazy already there. Plenty of boost to work with. Takes it over one. Trying to float it in, but great patience on the backboard from Tech. We're still up here for Winthrop 1-0, but Charlotte unrelenting, but the defense too good from Winthrop.
An unlikely miss coming out from Phantom right there. It's one that we don't really see often. One of the things I'm starting to notice is Winthrop is starting to get a little more space in that midfield, and they're utilizing it well. They're passing to one another, and I said at the beginning they're going to need to rely on their solo plays, but it seems like their pressure is starting to get to Charlotte, something I was not really expecting. Normally Charlotte is able to handle that pressure really, really well, and right now it looks like Winthrop just has the edge on them. It's nothing too crazy as the score is still 1-0, but as I say that, a pass goes down. Berger, top right. Oh man, Winthrop really putting it to Charlotte now. 2-0 in game 2.
Charlotte is a team very used to playing with space. They get a lot of respect in the lobby, and I think that the mindset of Winthrop right now is, hey, we're only one spot behind them. Respect is earned, not given. They got to show us why they need that space, why we need to be cautious of what types of moves they're going to make. These corner challenges are just insane coming out from Winthrop. They're just going for the ball, and they're coming out victorious on these 50-50s and leading to some great plays down the field. Maybe Ball is still with this one. It's still dangerous. Knight able to snipe that one through. And a reversal of the scoreline. Similar situation that Winthrop was in, but UNC Charlotte has had the ice in the past. Can they get this one back into favorable territory? Winthrop's still in the lead here, but UNC Charlotte finally take that donut off the board.
Yeah, like you said at the beginning of the stream, Charlotte tends to crawl and claw their way back into each game that they're in, and it will be important for Winthrop not to let that pressure get to their heads, and their Tech is dealing with that pressure particularly well. Knight is able to respawn on it. but they just got to keep challenging. They can't let Charlotte get that mid control. As we've seen, they're so deadly with their passing plays in years past, and even in this series so far. Ball goes up, could be an awkward read, but Knight does well to put it away into the corner. Tech gets it over one, but is demoed for his effort, but it does not matter. Berger is able to slice that one directly into the net. 3-1 in game 2 for Winthrop.
Tech gave their life so they could get the assist. Knight was going in thinking that Tech wasn't going to be able to find that little pop off the lip of the side wall, and Tech was able to find that before getting demoed. Led to a wide open net for Winthrop, and now they get that cushion back. Under a minute to go, 40 seconds on the clock. Tech gonna look for one more off the passing play. Phantom to sink it, and it's gonna be an all-out attack off the kickoff here for Winthrop, and they find a fourth.
This is exactly what I was looking for Winthrop to do. A fantastic response from them. 2-1 losing game 1, 4-1 up against Charlotte in game 2. This is the 1-2 matchup to watch. This is exactly what I was hoping for as Winthrop tries to make it 5-1, and Charlotte looks to try to get one for the road. Something to boost their spirits, which they almost do, but it is saved away by Phantom.
Another great 50 on the follow-up shot. They do not want to give UNC Charlotte any type of momentum, as you know, momentum is one heck of a thing. You give it an inch, they'll take it a mile in game 3, but utter dominance coming out from late game Winthrop to put this one on ice against UNC Charlotte. It looked like a close game with about a minute left, and then Winthrop just absolutely dominated as we get some horse dashes coming out from Lazy, as they're just going to say, GG, let's go to the next one. We got an equal series, turning this one into a best of 3. Winthrop, again, like you said, showing that number 2 seed and why they are here and why this is our first streamed matchup of the fall. Absolute masterclass in a bounce back game here for Winthrop.
If Winthrop's able to keep this up, they could have a really strong argument for rank 1, not just rank 2. Goal differential right now, they're up 2. They've scored 5, and Charlotte owned 3. It's just unfortunate for Charlotte, but as we know, they will come back with a vengeance. You saw at the end of the game, there were a couple horse dashes coming out. There was a psycho attempt. There was a skim attempt mid. They were just trying to get that confidence a little bit higher for their game 3 against Winthrop, and I'm honestly not mad at it.
Yeah, I mean UNC Charlotte again. They're a team that they ride the high and they can win out the close ones and they play with that momentum. So being able to make a late game push against UNC Charlotte, kind of put them on their heels in game 1, then come out in game 2 and do the same to UNC Charlotte and come out kind of on the better side of the score line. That's quite the feat to do. And again, this is a team that in recent results has taken down UNC Charlotte. It's a tough task to do so, and it's kind of an accolade to put under your belt to just say that you took down one of the best teams, not just here in the Carolinas, but nationally as well. Charlotte, you know, they touched top 16 success nationally with CRL, so we'll get to see what Winthrop's able to bring back to game 3. But I expect UNC Charlotte to play a little bit quicker here, play with a little bit more anticipation of these early goes from the Winthrop defense, as that's what really killed them in the long run, was the counterattacks and able to intercept these passing lanes. Charlotte needs to rely a little bit more on their solo play efforts and find the space once more for these infield passes that they love to do so. Winthrop, on the other hand, just keep doing what you're doing. Early go. Don't give them space. Don't give them time to breathe, and just give UNC Charlotte a little bit of a taste of their own medicine and see if you can take this one 2-1.
I completely agree. I mean, as we say that, Charlotte is able to get that pressure back on, but Winthrop is doing well to keep that pressure squarely away in the corner. A missed touch coming out from Bala, and that should give Phantom a little, but he passes it right back to Lazy. Those panic touches that they were dealing with so well earlier in the first 2 games are coming back to bite them as Knight passes it up to Lazy. It is 1-0. Charlotte strikes back in game 3.
Nakari on that backboard trying to guard the upper 90. Couldn't find the touch, and Lazy's going to punish. That's 1-0 now in the opening minute for Charlotte, and a big time bounce back after being held to only 1 goal. You've already equaled that total from last game. Now it's time to build. Lazy off the kickoff. One more touch needed. Almost found the narrow angle, but a great save to pin that one against your own post with Tech for Winthrop. Lazy, no boost, just going to go early, force a touch, maybe get this one in an awkward position. Nakari will play patient on that side wall. Big clear downfield from Bala. Looking for Lazy. This is a dangerous duo to connect. Doesn't find it back mid. Knight going to look for a challenge. Put some pressure on Tech. Force that back mid. Nakari waiting to receive back at the midfield. Lazy going to take this one all the way back. Top up the boost. But again, Winthrop early. Doesn't matter the boost totals. They're going to be going on these balls in the corner for Charlotte and just trying to establish some kind of presence here in their half. And they've been able to do so successfully. And able to try to find some possession here once more. Nakari puts a shot on target. Knight able to deal with that one fairly easily for Knight's standards. And Nakari goes once more looking for another 50. And again, just rotate through the corners. Try to find something back mid. Another whiffy 50. And a good turn here from Nakari to keep this one alive in Charlotte territory.
I mean, the reason we're seeing those 50-50s is because Winthrop and Charlotte are keeping up with one another. They have very similar speeds, and it's showing. Right now, it's going to really depend on who's able to keep their cool in these high-pressure scenarios, who's able to not panic when they don't touch the ball and will be able to respond well to it. So far, that was the reason that Winthrop gave up their first goal in this series and gives up a second. Unfortunate for them, but Knight is able to put it 2-0 up in Game 3.
These are plays you love seeing from Knight, just sticking with the play. Landed kind of in the right time, right place, right? But you stick with it. You don't immediately half flip out of there and think, oh, the shot's off. I need to rotate out because someone else is gonna crash in, right? No, just stick with it. Keep your head down and find a good play down the pitch. And now into the second half of this Game 3, Charlotte find a little bit of a cushion. Going to be Winthrop putting on a little bit of pressure, forcing the double commit out from Charlotte. Bala, good 50 out. Knight already up, low resources. Just going to find a soft touch and a redirect downfield. Knight back with another 50. Looking to force one more. Forces Nakari up that side wall. They look to go back mid. Lazy pre-jumps it. Phantom going to be a little bit awkward here for the defense, but Knight able to play that one over the top. Might have an open shooting lane. Double jump pass over and bang. That one is good for Bala. Draw it up, knock it down. Charlotte finds a third.
Charlotte heard me talking about Winthrop's response in Game 2, and now they're like, hold on, Colson. Look at us in Game 3 up 3-0. A little bit of an overcommit out from Winthrop, not enough boost to get back to the ball, and that is all it takes for a team the caliber of Charlotte. You give them that one tiny mistake, and they will punish you for it every single time. Bala able to pinch that one out mid for Lazy, who's already up. Knight should follow, but low resources. Maybe trying to get it mid. Beats one, does well, but it's put safely back into the corner for Bala, where he has a full tank of boost and plans to use all of it. Almost. Knight could be awkward, but no one is there to follow up with a strong, hello! Not a strong shot, but it doesn't matter if you're going to put it into your own net. Winthrop, like I said earlier, the panic is starting to set in. They are not doing well. Unfortunate you get bumped into it, but still, you want to see a little bit better from them. 4-0 Charlotte.
Yeah, this is looking messy here for Winthrop. Maybe playing a little bit too big for their britches here in Game 3. Thought that the commanding win would grant them some leeway, but UNC Charlotte responding well. This might be the first. Lazy gives it right back to them on a little bit of an own goal as well. They end up pinching that one off their own goal line and back into the net, but this is a quality shot put on from Nakari. Lazy, we see time and time again, they're able to make that play, but just not the right initial first touch, end up following it through on your flip right back in, but a total reversal of last game's scoreline. But we still got a minute and 10 seconds left on the clock and a favorable kickoff for Charlotte. Bala, soft touch to follow it up. Can't find the recovery. Phantom to the sidewall. B Bala once more, just happy to bleed time here in the orange half. Knight doing the same, maybe one more, but the pre-flip shot will fall its way into the corner.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. If you were Bala, I bet you wish you had that one back, but maybe not. It's 4-1 with 45 seconds left in Game 3. It seems like a sealed deal at this point, and now if you're Winthrop, you want one back just like that. A great passing play from Phantom and Tech, taking one for the road. There is a little bit of hope left. I've seen crazier comebacks in even higher ranks. It could be a kickoff goal and then a quick response, and it could be 4-4. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, gonna need to really line it up and be able to knock it down as well. That's a good 50 out, but Lazy is there to receive it. Phantom, downfield, Heck, just absolutely smothered by Knight. Gonna spend more time here in the orange half. if you're Winthrop, you got maybe 2 more good looks under your belt with a kickoff to try to get something going. You are able to erase the reversal of the scoreline from game 2. At least cut this lead back down to 2. Tech gonna put a shot on target, might be able to find the rebound, but no, all 3 go and find a way out. Knight, great read on that shot. Time starting to tick down here, and there's no 2-pointers in Rocket League. This one gonna go in favor of the Niners. They're going to be able to take this one back into 2-1 and put it on double match point. That one on 0 seconds will fall short of the goal line. UNCC come out with a big time responsive victory against Winthrop. Again, putting this one on double match point now. Winthrop need to win the next 2 straight. And UNC Charlotte showing again why they are the top dogs here for C3.
This is exactly what I wanted to see from the number 1 and number 2 seed. We have a slugfest, back and forth, back and forth. I know I'm supposed to be unbiased, but I just want some more Rocket League. I want Winthrop to come out with a good response in game 4 and send us to game 5. I think Charlotte just, like you said in game 1, I keep going back to it, but it rings true time and time again. They just clawed their way back into the series. They're not even worried about getting smoked in game 2. They said, we'll smoke you in game 3. So it's up to Winthrop to really pull themselves up by their bootstraps and get themselves back into this series.
Yeah, they're one of the best teams at just kind of having a goldfish brain, right? They're able to just forget what happened the last game. They take it one game at a time. They're not paying too much attention to the series scoreline. Sometimes to their detriment. I've seen times where they end up trading games and then they don't come in absolutely locked in a game 5 and a team surprises them. We might be in store for that here with Winthrop because again, despite the scoreline with the loss for Winthrop, they still look really good. The same way that Charlotte got 4-1 and then came out and looked absolutely astounding in game 3. Be not be surprised if we see a similar turnaround here for Winthrop, but this could be the last game in this week 1 matchup between the number 1, number 2 seed here. See if Winthrop's able to stand up to the task. And so far, they're tested early on defense and they come out the better for it.
Wow. Charlotte does not want this to go to game 5. They are absolutely sending the house, but Winthrop is doing well to get out of it. There was a team bump, but Phantom is able to bail his teammates out. They're sent 2. There's no boost for Berger in the back, but it should be safely away to the corner. Hopefully he's able to get it out, and he does well. Back to Tech, sending it back out, putting the pressure back on Charlotte. Pop up mid, no one's up. Phantom behind. Could be a play. Tech goes up, could go mid, try to make it awkward for Charlotte. Up, shot, saved away by Knight. The Charlotte defense is starting to come alive, not even blinking at the offense that Winthrop is throwing at them.
Usually Lazy is the one to seal games out and be that big defensive stopper, but early on in this game 4, Knight is the one to step up to the plate, and they are making great defensive plays time and time again here in the opening minute and 10 seconds of things, all the things of that. Those are how words work sometimes. But they're being tested, and Knight is coming out and making great defensive stops. And it's now Winthrop having to be put back on the defensive side of the ball, and in these early challenges, not coming out as quickly as Charlotte, starting to up the pace here, trying to seal the deal in game 4.
Absolutely. This is reminding me of game 1, where it's more poking and prodding. And I think it's going to be whoever hard peaks in this matchup. It's going to be that exclamation point that sends it over the line. I think it's got to be a solo play, maybe a passing play. Phantom shot, bar down and in. A little bit of help from the Charlotte team, but Berger to Phantom is a lineup that I would take every day of the week, and then an extra. Over the defense, bar down and in. That's what you like to see if you're a Winthrop fan. 1-0 in game 4.
That was one of the craziest first touches to go infield from Nakari that I think I've ever seen. It looked like it was going to be a catch back up sidewall, and I believe it was Lazy that was trying to shadow that and kind of predict where it was going to go, but it ends up going off the rear quarter panel of that Fennec and going straight into the hands of Phantom. A great play to set up the first goal here in game 4. This is Winthrop fighting for their week 1 lives against number 1 UNC Charlotte. They come out and strike first blood. Will UNC Charlotte be able to respond here? They got plenty on the clock to do so. It's going to be another defensive test here for the Niners. Go to the sidewall. Lazy can't find the touch. Two go. No one back. Knight last to rotate in. Low boost gets bumped. Burger off the backboard, turning it into a three-man play. Winthrop find their cushion.
Winthrop doing well, responding even better, beating the last on defense, passing it off crossbar right to the teammate. That's what you like to see. I stand corrected. It's not going to be a solo play that breaks them. It's going to be finding your teammates. The passing plays for Winthrop are finding themselves. I'm hoping that Charlotte's able to get back into this game. I am worried about an overheat. I know you said Lazy tends to be the one to pop off and seal the deal. Maybe they try to do a little bit too much, but this is what I want to see from Bala. Maybe it's time to let him shine, but it's saved away well by Phantom. Tech does well to challenge in the midfield. No boost, but does not care. Burger challenging in the back line. Great pass out to Phantom. Unfortunately, no one is there to follow up. The pressure from Winthrop is really starting to make Charlotte awkward, as they've done in this game so far. But the speed from Charlotte's coming back out. Unfortunately, Knight is not able to get to that mid pass. Phantom down mid, over to Tech. Tech is up, no boost. Fake jump coming out from Winthrop, just trying to buy a little bit of time for their teammates. Burger up. Could it be a solo play? The one that I've always dreamed of. No. Tech goes up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, if you're Winthrop, you're staring up like Willem Dafoe in that meme. Unfortunately, is not able to go into the back of the net. Winthrop does well to break the pressure.
And finally, a little bit of a reprieve here for Charlotte. They're able to find it past one. Tech last back gets demoed. Last man rotating in, can't find the touch. He's going to be Lazy all the way down the pitch. A little bit of an assist there on the bodyguard play from Bala. They draw it up and they're able to find this one in the back of the net, trying to seal the deal here. You get the lead cut in half. 107 on the clock. See if they got something off the kickoff. Slightly favorable for Winthrop here. They get to take a little bit of time. Lazy able to close the gap on that play. Gonna be Bala right into the hands of Tech. They're going to leave that one up for a teammate. Ball's going to linger a little bit. Knight is going to be the first to jump. Phantom reads it well. Lazy bumped on the back line. Might be a secure from Phantom. It is. And just like that, the 2-goal lead is back. And it's Phantom with the Hattie.
Winthrop is just linking up with one another. They're not afraid to stay upfield for just a half second longer, see if that pass is going to be sent up to them, and it is paying off. Charlotte looked like they were going to get their way back into the game with their aggression, but Winthrop is able to take it back, give them a nice buffer. A little bit of a double commit, though, coming out from Winthrop, but Tech is able to do well and buy time for his teammates. 30 seconds left in game 4 as Knight is able to send that one away to the corner, but Phantom is already up in the air. Lazy is overheating, freaking out a little bit. The pressure from Winthrop is building, and it is showing on the Charlotte players' sides. Lazy does well, though. Gets it mid. Should be a goal. Bala able to slot that one in the left side of the net. 2-3, 15 seconds. Game 4.
Not over till it's over. UNC Charlotte, again, they know how to turn things up late game, and we're seeing it here. But the question is, will it be enough? 16 seconds and a kickoff. If something advantageous falls their way, will be, as Bala is back with boost, but going to be Burger first up and quick to it. Tech to keep it contained in the Charlotte half. Looking for a bump. Phantom looking for the dagger, and their fourth cannot find it. Kari puts it to the sidewall. This one going to bounce dangerously towards the Charlotte net. They're going to keep it up for the 0-second drill. Gosh. Charlotte has boost in the tank. Bala up out of the corner, trying to keep it alive. Nakari, great deflection off that back wall. Just have to ground it. We're going to keep it alive. Lazy keeps it up. One more pinch needed. Has to play it past Nakari off the pre-jump. Tech going to spike that down. We touch turf on 000s. Winthrop forced the game 5, and who could have drawn it up better? The script is scripting right now. We got a game 5 between the number 1 and number 2 team to kick off week 1.
I mean, like you said, we couldn't have written the script any better. The only thing left to check off is a game 5 overtime. And as each match gets closer and closer together, that could be exactly what we're seeing. Winthrop in that 0-second minute drill, or the 0-second drill, is panicking a little bit. I saw a triple commit come out of there, and even though they were up, it seemed like they were desperate to get that ball out of their half. Charlotte, even when down, has that pressure on them, it wasn't enough. Winthrop was able to hold on and send us to a game 5.
We've been trading games, and they've been pretty outrageous score lines outside of that game 1. So we'll see if we're in store for another game 1 affair where it's very tightly contested up until the last second, much like this one, or if it's going to be a blowout like game 2 and 3. We'll get to see here as we have kickoff slated for game 5 between Charlotte and Winthrop. Man, I couldn't have asked for a better way to start week 1 of fall 2025 here for C3. New format, same excitement. We got kickoff game 5, Champions Field. See who's going to be taking the week 1 victory.
It looks like the kickoff goes the way of Winthrop. Early pressure, the opposite of game 4. Charlotte does well to get it out. A bump out onto the Charlotte player, but they're able to keep it on the Winthrop half. Lazy starting to send it. He wants to be that standout player. He wants to have the dagger moment in this opening series. But it looks like Winthrop has all the pressure, could be open. Where's the shot? No one is there. But it could have been disastrous for Charlotte, and panic is starting to come out from both teams. Seeing double commits left and right, but Charlotte is the quicker to get control of their team, get back to their senses, and get a goal for that matter. Knight, good patience, lets his teammate go upfield for the bump. Winthrop not used to these high pressure situations. Charlotte is able to take advantage of that. This could be dangerous if you're a Winthrop fan.
Do not want Charlotte to get hot early in a game. We've seen Winthrop, they've been able to make things close enough, but they're not able to seal the deal. But game 5 brings different stakes. See if they're able to maybe flip the script here, as Charlotte going to be on the attack right off the second kickoff here for game 5. Gonna be Bala, touch over 1, but gets bumped off the play. Gonna be a free ball for Tech. Not the best touch to the sidewall, as Knight was waiting in the wings to receive that. Lazy, gonna be backwards, fake challenge. Phantom does not bite, tries the fake flick, ends up turning it into a pass over to Nakari, and just like that, Winthrop responds.
A great response from Winthrop too. Knows that Lazy's in an awkward situation, so gets a 50 right out to Berger, and Berger's able to put that one in a really awkward spot. Unsavable if you're a Charlotte player. We're back into the heat of it. It's 1-1 in game 5. I hope it stays 2-2, 1-1, but it looks like it's going to be 2-1. Hello? Might have leaked the script a little bit. It might have to be 2-2 if we want to see this overtime. Game 5, great pass out from Knight to Bala, and a little bit of help from Tech, but they did well to try to get it out. The crossbar is not their friend in this instance. 2-1, Charlotte up in game 5.
With a big kickoff here for Winthrop, it's going to bounce high. Will be Bala there. Flip reset on the top of the ball, was not able to corral that one back. Knight misplay, and a misflip from Nakari could have been the equalizer once more, but instead we play on. Gonna be Bala back out mid, Lazy. Gonna find that last little bit of a chip there on the ball, put it into their opposite corner. Great early challenge from Nakari. Phantom back mid. Bala getting bumped in net, does not matter. It might be a clean counter. They get the Goomba, and Bala does it all themselves. Defense to offense. Great transition here from Charlotte, getting that cushion right back. 3-1 the scoreline.
Winthrop is, it's like they're feeling that pressure. They have 3 minutes. They didn't need to send it there. They've been playing so well in this series, but the urgency is now going to be on even more so than when it was just 2-1. Where are the passing plays that were helping them so much in the earlier games? As of now, they're nowhere to be seen. They're sending these challenges that just don't need to be sent, and it's caused them to go down 2. Good demo out from Tech. Could be a shot. Could be open. Bar down for Phantom. That is that pressure that you want to see if you're a Winthrop fan. Charlotte thought they were safe, but Tech says, no. Get out of my way. We are going to win this game 5. 3-2, Charlotte, game 5.
Phantom has been having a generational performance here to kick off week 1, and if Phantom's able to replicate this as the season goes on, Winthrop is going to be one of the scariest teams here for the fall. They already are looking like one, forcing Charlotte to a game 5, able to come up clutch in game 4 to get us here in the first place, but now you're in a 1v1. Can you deal with the pressure? Again, Phantom steps up big time. Challenge from behind. Puts a little bit of pressure there on Lazy. Balla to go solo play once more. Backboard looking for a double. Sets it up to Lazy. They go for a double. Knight comes in. Triple commit from Charlotte. Does not find the goal. Knight with a dribble. Wanted the quick cut in, but does not find the goal once more. Now ticking down to the final 2 minutes of play here. It's Winthrop still hunting for one on the board. Balla with possession, dunked out by Nakari. Lazy downfield, will find Balla. Back down to Knight. Knight gonna opt to play with some space, grab that boost, play it over the top of one. Tech not able to find it. Nakari finds it to the post. Phantom off the respawn, knock the rotate back in, and two stuck on the opposite side of net. And it's gonna be Charlotte capitalizing on a big defensive misplay, a rare one coming out from Winthrop off the early go. And it's going to be now back to a 2-goal lead here for the Niners.
One thing we do know about Winthrop is they are quick to respond, and that is exactly what they are going to need if they want to have a chance at a game, overtime, or a win. And that's exactly what they do. Phantom right to Berger off the kickoff. The pressure from Winthrop is there, still clawing their way back, bearing resemblance to Charlotte themselves. 4-3 in this game 5. This is exactly what I wanted to see from them. It seems like that underdog mentality is finally starting to play a factor. They really don't have anything to lose. They're the 2 seed. They're taking on the big bad, and they're starting to believe just a little bit. Minute and a half left could be huge for them, but it could be open. Great by Berger to get it out of danger, but Knight almost makes a read on that. Off the post, not the sound you want to hear if you're a Charlotte fan. That could have been 5-3, but Winthrop does well to keep it to 4. Now Lazy off the ceiling, trying to be the star player we know that he is, to Balla, and bang! Could that be the dagger for Charlotte against Winthrop? 5-3.
Right now, Winthrop is struggling. They get the response goal, but they can't find the equalizer. They're not able to find 2 in a row. And Charlotte doing so well that after they concede, they put that pressure right back on. They kill a bunch of time off the clock, inevitably go back up by 2. That might have been a third, but a great save coming out by Tech. Knight looking to punch in a third, fakes it, it's down below. Balla is able to knock that one through, and Charlotte with their largest lead of the game here in crunch time, under a minute to go. 6-3 now, and that hill becomes even steeper for Winthrop to try to climb their way back in. Kick off once more. See if Winthrop has something drawn up. We get a hard cheat, does not pay out. Phantom with a full tank of boost in the skies. The player that you want to have the ball in their hands here for Winthrop to go on the challenge. Be a little bit risky for Winthrop. Knight puts a shot on target, clear downfield, but Lazy staying back, playing safety, puts the pressure right back on off the solo effort. The Phantom to the skies, has a little bit more boost to work with. Flip reset, tries to play a low, fakes the Tech, and Tech gonna put a 4 on the board, cut this back down to 2, but now the time becomes a factor.
1 goal in 15 seconds, another goal in 15 seconds, 16. I'll be generous. I want an overtime. This has been an insane game, and Winthrop still will not go away. It's going to be a long shot, but I think this is the team to do it. We just need to make sure that no one overheats, no one overcommits, but the pressure is on. You have to go now. You have to send it. Unfortunately, gets beat. Balla able to ball around 2. I think that's a fake for a teammate. There, Lazy saved away by Berger. Knight tries to keep the pressure on. This has to be it for Winthrop, and there's no time. Balla has possession of that, and it looks like Charlotte will take this series, and what a series it was. Absolutely beautiful gameplay from both teams, deserving of the number 1 and number 2 seeds. Wow. I'm speechless. That was a stunning display of Rocket League and exactly what I wanted to see from the opening series.
Yeah, wow is the right word for that series. Game 5 is not what I expected, but Winthrop proved me wrong. This was a full strength UNC Charlotte team. They came out and off the backs of a phenomenal performance from Phantom, they were able to keep this one tight. Again, UNC Charlotte, they know how to ice out series. They know how to ice out games. Does not surprise me that they took the game 5 victory, but what does surprise me is that we got to game 5 in the first place. Number 1 and number 2 seeds deservingly. We get to see just more action as the week goes through. And I think we got word from our production. We're gonna have player interviews, so we get some words from the boys who were just on the pitch. So we're gonna throw it to a brief break. And we got Knight up first. Actually, no break. I don't think we are going to a break. Are we ready for just an interview straight in? Okay, we're gonna take a break, get everything all set up. But we got Knight coming up for UNC Charlotte to talk about the win. So we'll be right back. Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen. We have Knight from UNC Charlotte just took the game 5 victory against number 2 Winthrop, still the number 1 overall team here for the C3 to kick off fall 2025. Knight, how you feeling after the win, man?
It's feeling good. It was definitely more stressful series than it should have been. We had issues with Bala getting in last minute. He was working, so he just got home, got on the PC. He didn't really get much time to warm up.
Yeah.
So the start was a little funky, but eventually game 5. Once it gets a lot of times when it gets to game 5, we're just a team that for some reason always goes to game 5 or game 7, and we've done it so much now that the nerves kind of just go away. Like we get used to it. So that's honestly kind of our environment. Even though a lot of times, a lot of series should just be more sweeps. We've gotten really used to it, even when things tend to get really close.
Yeah, you guys are definitely a team that knows how to provide content for whatever series you're playing. Whatever the stakes are, you guys know how to make it a really good one. But again, congratulations on the win. But I kind of the first thing going into this for me was how much of it was an impact over the summer. You guys losing to Winthrop in the national championship bracket for CCS, and how much of this was kind of a all right. We're gonna get our lick back for week 1 of C3.
Oh, it was no, that was a big thing. Because yeah, CCS. It was really unfortunate. We had to bring in a sub. I actually had to go. I was on vacation. I had to go find an esports lab, which was in the middle of nowhere, to play the match. So it was already not looking too good. But we wanted to do that rather than just forfeit. We wanted to play the series. So we went out, we did it. Even though we lost, I think it was again another game 5, last game,
Yeah.
1-2 goal game. So even with that, with how close it was then, we knew coming in now we were definitely the better team. Not to throw any shade or anything, but with someone on their team who had under 100 points for almost half of every game, we knew as long as we locked in, we definitely had it. And I know they're a new roster too. Um, we've been playing slightly longer now, still getting kind of sorting out some kinks and things like that. But once we start getting into the flow and are able to get scrims before our games, get good practice in. With the season starting up and things are very hectic, it can be a little weird. But once we kind of get that ball rolling, it's smooth sailing for us. So
Yeah, and I mean, you guys played some competition over the summer, right? So you're not fully just this is the first time you're picking up the controller since
mhm.
last spring, but kind of what has been the prep to start to ramp you guys up now for the fall? Because now you guys are a varsity program, you guys are going to be kind of have a little bit more spotlight on you nationally and not just here for C3. But how have you guys kind of been ramping up to get back to that top end level of play that we've seen from you guys before?
Yeah, so for varsity, it's been kind of a weird transition. We're almost pretty good into it now because some leagues we still play under the club, some leagues are under varsity, but a lot of the tournaments now are varsity. So DreamHack is probably going to be varsity. A lot of the big tournaments that we travel to are going to be more varsity. Um, but we actually are just starting up this week. This is the first week. We have all our teams sorted, so it's gonna start now, even though it's been a few weeks of school already. Is when we're really starting to pick up. But it's been great. The transition has been good. It's really nice now. Not having to get everyone together, find Airbnbs, get all the travel stuff sorted. It's nice now that we have a program that supports us and is doing that all for us now. It takes a lot of the pressure off us. Um, so it's definitely very nice, and having a set schedule for practices, a nice arena now, a really nice arena to practice in has been, it's been great. So the varsity program has definitely done a great job at elevating us to the next level. And even collegiately, I think last year was by far one of our best years. We did great in CRL qualifiers.
Mhm.
We definitely could have gone farther in CCS. We took C3 again, which now at this point it just feels like we are, everyone wants someone else to win C3 now. But we're gonna do our best. Try and make it a 4-peat. We'll see. But it's been nothing but uphill. Our team has shown incredible growth over the course of this past 2 semesters. So I'm super excited to see how this year is going to turn out for us.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it turns out for you guys too. I'm glad that you guys are getting the support. You guys are definitely, some of the players that deserve that support because your ceiling's so high. Not to put too much glaze on UNC Charlotte because I'm 10 minutes down the road from y'all, but I appreciate what y'all have gone through as a club. I appreciate the school now backing you guys and getting that support. So it's awesome to hear that it's going great. I'm really looking forward to the rest of C3. I'm not going to take too much of your evening away from you, but before we go on to our next match, do you have any shout outs, any thank yous, anything you want to get out there before we wrap things up here?
Oh yeah, of course. Always shout out to my family first, my mom, my dad, my family that always watches and supports me. I see them in the chat. They're always rooting for me, cheering me on. That's like that's like one of the biggest motivations for me is seeing my friends and family, how supportive they are. So then obviously my teammates, Ball and Lazy, great guys. I really do enjoy playing with them. I think we've got great chemistry and we've got we're gonna be able to go the mile. And lastly, just all the boys at Charlotte. Big man, our old coach. Unfortunately, we couldn't get him as a coach now, but he's still helping us out. He's very supportive, and everyone else here too in the community at Charlotte Varsity and the club has been they've helped us get this far. So shout out to them.
Yeah, big shout outs. And again, congrats on the win. Looking forward to seeing how the rest of the season goes. If this is you guys just still warming up, you guys are going to be a dangerous team. So again, congrats. Thank you for coming up on stream. Thank you for coming up for an interview. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Coming up next, we got UNCW versus Clemson. Before we throw to break, I want to put you in the hot seat. Prediction here.
Oh wait, you asked. Okay, if you could still hear me. Wait, who's playing?
Uh, yeah,
UNCW
UNCW and
Clemson.
Clemson.
Um, I'm gonna have to go with Clemson. If it's the same
Oh,
roster, I'm going with the boys from Clemson.
okay. You heard it here. Knight taking Clemson again. Thank you, Knight. We're gonna throw it to a quick break, and we'll be back with our second game of the slate here for week 1.
Getting hype when I aim up, elevating that game up, stepping up to the competition. Only first place, and that's how I'm living. I'm winning till they digging up my grave, eating all the things up on my plate. Game face when I step up in the place. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate. I was born and when I watched me elevate.
Welcome back in. We got game number 2 for week 1. Clemson versus UNC Wilmington. Another banger of a matchup. It's going to be another tight game. We kick things off with a game 5 thriller between Charlotte and Winthrop. Will we get another one here? I'm back again with Colson. I told you it was going to be a short break, but we're right back into the action. We got the Clemson Tigers taking on the Wilmington Seahawks. Again, going to be another absolute banger here for week 1.
I personally wonder who Nate is going to be rooting for. Uh, we'll see. We'll see. I think he's a big Clemson guy, but who knows?
Yeah.
Uh, But yeah, great first series. I'm hoping that Clemson and UNCW will be able to follow this one up with something just as exciting, if not more exciting. Um, I'm gonna have to. Sorry, Nate. I'm gonna have to go with Clemson on this one. That's who I'm leaning towards a little bit. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I think it'll be close regardless. But I have to get my apologies out of the way in advance. I hope it's a good series regardless.
Yeah, I think it will be. I think a recent result that is kind of leaning me towards Clemson as a big underdog here for C3 this season with their new and improved roster bringing in Enzo. I have a little bit of info on Enzo from my time spent doing some RLCS casting, doing some casting for some of the weeklies with like Frost and those types of things, and some off-season tournaments, kind of digging into the bubble a little bit. Enzo's a really good player. I know Canova was in chat, I believe, and he said, the mechs are here and there, but the game sense is really solid. And I think I'd have to agree with that. I think that he's discounting the mechs a little bit. Enzo is a very mechanical player. I think that he just uses them very smart. Is able to just kind of be a very high IQ mechanical player and not just always going for double triple resets. They use them when they're necessary. So I think that with Enzo and them also taking a pretty recent victory in game 5 over South Carolina, who's another favorite here. I think that Clemson has some legs underneath them to really go far when it comes down to land time. I think that they're another team that's a lock for land. They're another top seed here entering week 1. I think they're going to keep up that level of consistency and that level of mechanics and skill that they have behind them. Uh, but on the other side of UNCW, I think that they're going to be a surprise team as well. Maybe not to the same degree as Clemson, but Nate was talking them up. They've been grinding. They've been getting their ranks up. We'll see if that's been going to pay some dividends here in terms of cohesion for the team, because I think that's what we saw lacking a lot from Wilmington from the spring. Was they didn't seem like a very cohesive roster. They didn't seem to play as a team. It was just kind of everyone kind of popped in here and there and made solo plays. But we'll get to see here how things have improved for both sides, as we got a new roster and some new ranks on the other side kicking things off for game 2.
I'm not as familiar with these two teams, but I know that Clemson beating South Carolina must have been extra sweet as we launch into game 1. Immediately off the kickoff, Clemson's able to get a little bit of pressure, but UNCW, Nate's favorite, is able to get out of it really quick. I think in this game 1, we're going to see similar to what we saw in game 1 between Charlotte and Winthrop. I think it's going to be initially some poking and prodding, but I think that Clemson might be able to steal this one. I might have to eat my words if UNC is able to keep that type of pressure up. Good quick pass play mid in support, doing well early on in this game 1.
Beans gonna play that one patiently and ends up leaking out to Masau on the other end. Still a little bit of pressure here for Clemson to open things up, but I think the poking and prodding is going to be a trend that we see at least through this week 1 and maybe even into week 2 with some of the teams that maybe are getting their first taste of on-stream action. Is everyone going to be feeling out these new rosters, feeling out these new players, because there's been a large gap of time between when they've played each other, and there's going to be some differences, whether it's just the little nuanced things of, hey, this team used to not challenge in the corner and now they're very aggressive in our corner trying to put on pressure, whatever it may be. Those differences are going to be there. You're going to need to get a read on each other. But Clemson still coming out, and they're going to, again, be the favorites here. They are the higher seed going up into this matchup. UNC Wilmington is going to have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. Last season in the spring, there were some allegations about their strength of schedule. Now they are in a position where with the new format, it's going to be tough time and time again. Whoa. And they're looking to prove doubters wrong, as an absolute screamer almost goes in for Wilmington. And then down the field, a counter is launched for Clemson, but both are negated. A demo in the skies, and Enzo back with low boost is going to launch this one downfield. Bean's not able to read it, but does register as a shot, and Steve having to come up big time with a big save.
Yeah, UNC, I think, is a little stronger than I was expecting in this game 1. They're linking up on their passing plays, unlike Clemson, which you just saw. A ball trickled mid, but no one was there for the follow-up. it's really impressive what UNCW is able to do so far. But they gotta be worried. If Clemson is the team that you described, and I believe you, I think that UNC is gonna have to be very, very careful and diligent about their overcommits and their boost management. Especially right now, talk about a little bit of an overcommit, but it should fly to safety. Reticle is able to put that one away. Pressure is still on for Clemson. That could have gone into the top left corner. Maybe Enzo would have wanted that one back, but UNCW does well to recover. Someone is always being sent for the challenge, and they're able to finally get a little bit of breathing room for one another.
I think right now the biggest thing that I'm seeing from spring till now coming out from UNCW is their pace. They look a lot more comfortable playing at the tempo that Clemson's putting on them. Ooh, big time demo and down central. Masau gonna find the opening goal. It took quite a bit of time, 3 minutes into game one, and off the demo from Beans, and a little bit of an aggressor there in the blue half. They find their first goal, but despite that aggression play connecting, they've been doing a lot to keep up tempo wise and really play at the same pace as Clemson. Whereas we saw them get kind of lost in the sauce sometimes in the spring, and I think that that's a big time improvement and that kind of that rank up over the summer that we've seen come through. And right back responding is another demo, this time from Wilmington, and Sluggish there to knock it home.
I love the aggressiveness that I'm seeing from both teams. UNCW gets demoed and gets scored on and immediately does the same thing back. Both teams look great when supporting one another on offense, but they are going to need that extra support on defense. Unfortunately for UNCW, that one is slapped away. Clemson does well, but has two players on low boost pushed up in the upfield. Nassau misses. This could be bad if Sluggish is able to get this one over Beans, but Beans is able to get that one cleared away to safety, buying his team precious seconds, keeping that pressure off them. Nassau is up to the charge again, up to bat. Enzo charges, but unfortunately misses. Sluggish, not the best takeoff, but should be batted away by Steve down to the corner for Reticle. Nassau with a miss. Beans mode, low boost. Enzo is demoed, but is able to get that ball cleared. Could be to Sluggish, but Beans again bailing out his team, getting the clear and a bump for that matter. 1-1 in this game one. Teams are starting to look a little bit more cohesive. Like I said, the overcommits is what they got to watch out for. If one person gets demoed, then, that could be it. Nassau does well to dodge that one. Reticle gets demoed for their trouble. Unfortunately, it's going to stay in the corner for a little bit, pausing play. We know that these teams both like playing as fast as possible, as shown here. Enzo and Nassau again pushed up, low boost, but Sluggish and Steve low boost as well. Beans bumped. Reticle could be passed, but gets dunked by Beans for his trouble. Enzo with the pass blocked away by Steve. Will Clemson keep this up? No. We're headed to overtime in game one.
Clemson is a dangerous team in overtime with their, we'll say, aggressive play style. They like to play up. They like to push tempo. They like to play aggressive. Sluggish gonna slot that one on the angle and find it out of the corner. 8 seconds is all it takes. Beans takes an awkward angle. Enzo gets absolutely dunked, and the angle on the shot from Sluggish is good to go. UNCW come out and give Nate a little birthday gift, taking game one.
Yeah, I can only imagine what Nate's reaction is right now. I bet he's jumping up and down, eating his birthday cake, happy as a clam. That is exactly what you want if you are a UNCW fan. We were riding high on the Clemson wave, talking about how they had great games and track record to show how good they were. UNC with this new roster is showing that they could be better. It's really impressive what UNCW was able to do. They were down and came back in order to win that game one. Let's see if they can keep that consistent pressure that they had into the next game.
Yeah, I want to commend UNCW for coming out and being able to match the tempo, kind of going bar for bar with Clemson. The shot totals were almost even, a couple more in favor of Wilmington, but it's just the general pace of play. The pushes downfield, the counterattacks, they're rotating a lot quicker than what we saw in the spring. They look more cohesive, and I think that those were my biggest question mark going into this for Wilmington was how have they come together as a trio, and how are they going to look in terms of pace? Because Clemson adding Enzo to the team, that's going to be a very fast team. It already was before the Enzo addition, and you're adding more speed to it and more aggression. But I think that that's kind of what it was their downfall. They were playing with fire a little bit too much. It led to a lot of pressure from Wilmington. It led to a lot of easy shots going in for Wilmington and coming to fruition against Clemson. See if they're able to settle things down a little bit, kind of adapt their game style to be a little bit more patient, feed these infield passes as we see one almost connect there in the opening 15 seconds of game 2. But instead, it's going to be a reversal. You talk about infield passes, and Wilmington says, we can do that too. Big time miss off the sidewall. Sluggish sticks with it and dimes up Reticle for goal number 1.
Nate, let me hear you, man. Let me see you in the chat. That is your team popping off 19 seconds into game 2 after taking game 1, after the casters were so high on Clemson. Oh, if you were Clemson, you might want that one back. That is unfortunate for them, but a good touch could be from Nassau, but unfortunately was just popped a little bit too high above him. UNCW with a lot of pressure going on right now. It's really impressive what they've been able to keep going from game 1 as Clemson looks to break through. 2 low boost players on Clemson pushing up again. There's a midfield control from UNCW. It's starting to become something like a clinic. They're bumping, pushing, trying to get them out just so the boost can be theirs. Could be a pass from Sluggish to Reticle, but it was a little bit too far upfield. Steve with a cut. Good beat. Could be there for Sluggish. Let's see what he can do with it. Half a tank popped out to the corner safely. Let's see who's there. Reticle able to be there. Steve shot. Enzo, nice positioning, able to push that one away. It is a little chaotic in front of net, but Clemson is doing well not to bump into one another. I say that as they double commit. A little bit of panic setting in, but could be a big counterattack. Sluggish, great cut, able to beat that one and start it before, or stop it before it even happens.
Faceow gonna try to take possession, but Steve gonna instead find a beat. That one gonna go straight down to the hands of Enzo. Gonna try to find the clear downfield and find a little bit of space to work with. Instead, it's Wilmington right back on the hunt here for goal number 2. Beans gonna take this one up to the sidewall, play it underneath the defense, and able to push now into Wilmington territory. Mace out with the follow-up, can't find the recovery, gonna spin out on that back wall of UNCW. Sluggish gets absolutely dusted by Beans, and Beans puts in the first here for Clemson, ticking down towards halftime, and the Tigers are on the board.
That speed that you were talking about earlier is starting to show for Clemson. An absolute screamer into the top left, tying them up 1-1 in game 2. A whiff off kickoff. It's now 2-1, 2 goals for Beans mode. That's exactly what you want to see if you're a fan of the Tigers. A little bit too aggressive from UNCW. That hard sheet not paying off the way that you were hoping. But that's all right. You got 2 minutes and 51 seconds remaining. Let's see if UNC can tie it back up. Oh my God,
right
they did it again!
The cheat works. The cheat works out. Enzo gonna be lone man on kickoff. Beans just right over the top of him. The reaction time not there coming out from Beans, and good on Steve too to not put it right in front of Beans. Goes just to the right, shades that one a little bit, and is able to find the response right away. Clemson had the lead for all of 2 seconds before Wilmington comes back, almost finds a third off the double. Reticle won't find it. Enzo comes in, not able to find the dunk. Steve downfield. Masau will come out the winner of that 50-50, but Sluggish now looking to take possession. Enzo, quick cut, able to find the challenge back out. Pre-jump pinch will find its way back mid. Reticle over to Sluggish off the backboard, looking to drop that one down, but finds into the corner instead. Reticle goes once more to Steve. No boost. Soft shot cleared away by Enzo. Right back into the corner, though. Rinse and repeat offense here for Wilmington. They're starting to form a game plan, starting to form a little bit of a style here. Mossau just off target on that massive dunk attempt. That could have been the third for Clemson. Big time 50 at the midfield. Steve opts ball over boost. A smart play. No one to trail. Sluggish is late to it. Reticle with another 50. Steve Miss flip at the midfield, going to give some space to Beans now. Goes sidewall, wants one more touch. Back mid, Sluggish with a nice clear, and we're playing back and forth ping pong here at the midfield, finally finding its way into Wilmington territory for the time being. Again, it's right back to this just clang and chase ball by Clemson, but UNCW, their pace, it fits it well, and they're able to contend so well against this Clemson offense. Nothing is clicking for them in this past minute spent in Wilmington territory.
Yeah, there's all these chances coming through, but Clemson is yet to capitalize. There's slow floaters, the perfect ones to dive on, just floating gently across the net, but no one's there. UNCW, for all the pressure that they're putting up with, they're keeping it so that Clemson doesn't have that moment to finally break through, that thing that's kept it 2-2 in this game 2. Right now, Clemson has it in the corner. This could be it. A whiff coming out, but Beans mode is there to Enzo. Could be back to Beans mode, but just a little bit too far. Double commit for a pinch. This could be dangerous if there's a 50. It did go the way of UNCW, but they bump each other in the corner. Steve should put a little pressure on. Sluggish, not true to his name, is on that challenge as quickly as he can be. Beans mode is there, putting away to the corner for his teammate. Reticle does well to cut it off. Massau clears it away to Enzo. Shot. Sluggish is back. Back to Reticle, stretching. Clemson is making UNCW stretch for these, but they do well to break out every single time. 10 seconds remaining in this game 2, and a booming clear over to Reticle. Oh, but is blocked out by Beans mode. Massau able to keep it for his teammate, and it goes down. 2-2, game 2, overtime.
Back-to-back OTs here, and again, it goes the way of Wilmington. Steve cannot find the pop and the go. They misflip off the initial touch. Sluggish will find the save. Reticle to the ceiling, has Massau down below, threatening the challenge. It gets out of their hands. Bean's going to pop this one to the backboard. Sluggish able to take it away. Enzo looking to go cross net, but the shot a little bit too slow on the go. Massau pop back upfield, has Beans waiting in the wings, but they rotate out and leave that one up for Enzo. Looking for the dunk on the goal line, turns into a demo. Reticle no boost, looking for the flick, can't get it past Beans at the midfield. Clemson dominating these opening 30 seconds of overtime, might be able to find one more shot, turns into a pass. Massau back to the backboard, Beans for the dunk, to go, and denied once more, but the attack still on for Clemson. Enzo feathering that boost, leaves it mid. Massau double tap, does not need it as it falls right into the hands of the defense. The counter is on. Sluggish on the pre-flip, can't find it. And a minute into OT, Clemson has dominated shot after shot, but cannot find the go.
Going shot for shot and whiff for whiff. Both teams would like that moment back. The counterattack for UNC and that ball just hovering on the goal line for Clemson. But Clemson looks to be the team putting that pressure immediately back on. I say that as Beans mode bumps Reticle to save it from going UNCW's way. Reticle able to keep it in their half, trying to buy a little bit of time for their team. Steve off the ceiling. Not a great recovery, but it is okay. Sluggish is able to put that to the wall for a quick Reticle solo play, trying to buy some time for his team. There it is. Steve, full boost in the midfield, bumped away by Clemson. Enzo, no boost, able to pick up the mid. This should be well for Clemson. I say that. I saw Reticle low boost. I saw him looking at that corner boost, shiny as it is. I've made that exact mistake before, and Clemson will punish you for it. Just an inch over the line, and that seals game 2.
Clemson coming out and showing the ice. Again, they got put in a risky situation multiple times because of those overcommits, trying to just play fast, play faster, and kind of outpacing themselves. And that is a dangerous game to play. This time it works out in your favor, but it goes to OT once again. Enzo with a massive performance, 5 saves to their name and 6 shots of pressure, trying to just offense by assault is what Clemson is trying to put on against UNCW. And these tight score lines, UNCW is stepping up big time on the defensive side of the ball and being able to negate a lot of this early pressure put on by Clemson. And I don't know how this wasn't done earlier, how it wasn't done sooner. Clemson held a full minute of OT, just dominating and putting up shot after shot after shot. And UNCW handled it beautifully. They come out with a loss, and we turn this one into a best of 3 in game 2. But just like our first match of the night, this is back and forth. We're in store for game 5, 10 straight games possibly for the broadcast. But next up, we got game 3, and it's going to be a absolute pendulum game here for either team.
I completely agree, but that's exactly describing the series we've seen so far. It looks like, oh, never mind. Almost spoke too soon. We have everyone in this lobby ready to jump into game 3 as we get our engines ready. I'm torn. Clemson looks really strong and has all the pressure, but UNCW, aside from that final goal, seems to be holding up to that pressure really, really well as we see them try to apply some pressure of their own. Sluggish decides not to go with that pre-jump as Enzo puts it away to the corner. Clemson players could be on low boost if Steve's able to keep that mid control. Ooh, but Clemson is able to get it out. But I don't know if it matters. Sluggish again, taking his name and throwing it away. Anything but sluggish. He puts that in top left. Beans right a little too far in front of him. 1-0 UNCW, and if you are a fan of UNCW, that's exactly how you want to see them respond after game 2.
Both sides, their fans are eating good tonight. This is so much content, so much good Rocket League being played by both teams, and we've seen plenty of mistakes, but we've seen plenty of highlight plays too, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So many goal line heroics coming out in these opening 2 games, and now looking to slam through a banger. Enzo gonna be denied on the goal line. Sluggish wanted that musty so bad, but had no boost in the tank. Gonna be right back into Seahawk territory here. Masao puts an absolute laser on target. Steve comes out with a big save. Beans wants to go double tap, can't find the angle. Masao from the midfield. We have a car change for Masao as well. Maybe he's trying to feel a little bit more mechy, a little bit more solid on those touches. Clemson not able to find a shot on target to go through yet. Had 2 good looks, but UNCW now having to deal with a little bit of pressure put on by the offense. Big time bump, but Steve able to cut off the play with the opposite pitch. Masao, plenty of boost. Enzo underneath, looking for the connect, and they find the drop in. Enzo off the dish from the skies. They get that one on the board first here for Clemson.
Sluggish decided to give the post a little bit of a kiss. You hate to see that if you're a UNC fan, but love to see it if you're a Clemson fan. That pressure that you were talking about at the end of game 2, Clemson is carrying it over. I thought that UNC maybe had broken out of it, but Clemson is able to get it right back. It's nerve-wracking. I'm scared. If I'm a UNC fan, I'm seeing what's going on. It's making me nervous. I say that reticle. Oh my, peek. Oh, what a save from Enzo! Wow. Oh man, it's just what you want. The perfect look if you're a UNCW fan, but unfortunately it's shot right into the defender. Great defense coming out from Clemson as they cut early low boosts. This pressure that Clemson has, they're so desperate to keep it. It seems to be working. It got them their win in game 2, and they're trying to keep it to get their win in game 3. But UNCW will not go down without a fight. One goes through, cleared off the backboard, low boost, and is dusted by Enzo. Masao could put this mid, but Sluggish is able to keep it away for a cherry-picking reticle. He misses! Oh, you want that one back. That is a tough shot, but one that players of these skill levels easily make. Sluggish able to take this one up the wall. Could be up for reticle again, who tries to go for a bump, but Sluggish does it themselves! Are you kidding me? Nate is freaking out right now. They're peeking. I told you. That's exactly what he was talking about, and he is proving us wrong. UNCW 2-1 in game 3.
Clemson, just every time there's a free ball for UNCW, I clench because I don't know how it's going to come out. They've made so many goal line saves, and same with UNCW. When we see these plays like this lining up for Clemson, you don't know what the outcome is. It looks so good, but the defense comes through and they go early, force the shot to be a little bit more awkward, and it turns into a 50-50 there for Clemson, but now trailing late game. Need a big time play, and Mossau, the big time player, to possibly make it happen. Enzo late to the play on the cleanup with no boost. Beans gonna put it right back into the hands of Sluggish, the dangerous striker here in game 3 for UNCW. Enzo to the backboard, double tap, pass back down to Beans, awkward angle, finds the post. Mossau, change of pace. Mossau slows it down for just a touch, and they get that one to go through. Tie ball game once more.
I almost lost my mind when that ball initially went off the post, but these players are fantastic. Masso there to clean it up for his teammates and tying it up in game 3. It is a slugfest. It is a tight game, but these players are going blow for blow against one another. Leave by Steve. Whoa, hello. For Reticle, I'm rhyming and I didn't even know it. Steve able to take some control on this. Sluggish gets demoed for trying to go for it. Should be Reticle's ball, does well to keep it close, but Masso is having none of it. He will demo you for that. A little bit of panic in front of the goal line from Steve. Oh, and an open net whiff from Masso. Beans able to keep the pressure on, though. The attack is not yet over. Will they make up for it? No. Reticle does well to keep it away. Enzo keeping the pressure on. Beans there. Shot blocked out by an early Steve. UNCW able to get that pressure out and keep that pressure on. Pass out to Clemson, but elects not to go for it. Enzo mid, bouncing it. Little awkward for Sluggish, but he does well to keep it away into his corner, buying his teammate those few precious seconds. This should be Beans' ball. Nice, good touch. Enzo there, but Sluggish, an even better touch to beat him. Oh, fake out for Reticle. This could be it. This could be the peak. Steve! Bang! You're not in Minecraft anymore, dude. He puts that one top left. Are you kidding? What a shot from UNCW. I know Nate is losing his mind right now.
You got snipers on the side of UNCW just binning shots time after time, and they find one late game, possibly no OT in game 3 needed, as they come out and try to ice this one in regulation. We'll pop to the sidewall. Mossau downfield. Sluggish has the boost advantage. Finds another bang. Reticle looking for the dagger. Drop down. Not on target, but Sluggish. Bang. That's going to be it. Sluggish with the hat trick and puts a 4th and the nail in the coffin here for game 3. UNCW with a big time show out here in this series, opening up week 1, putting Clemson on notice. If they can just drain out the clock here, that will be all is needed to put this one on double match point for the Seahawks. They're going to take possession here off the back wall. Mossau looks for one for the road, and the goal line says, no, you won't. UNCW take the 2-1 series lead, and this would be the happiest of birthdays for Nate if they're able to get this one done in 4.
Nate is screaming and jumping for joy right now. He probably ate his first birthday cake and is moving on to the second one. That's a pair of games for UNCW and a pair of cakes for Nate. Each win that he has, he'll eat an entire another one. We just need a few subscribers and he'll do it. Trust, trust, trust. UNCW takes it in game 3, putting Clemson on match point. Wow. Wow. I mean, I stand corrected. If this keeps up, Nate was right. Nate was right. And I don't say that lightly. Clemson
No one
is
says that
just
lightly.
absolutely, absolutely getting beat. There's plays that they have that are coming out, but that last connection isn't there. They have the passes, but it's just off post. It reminds me of that second goal where it should have been in off the second player. Nassau does well to clean that one up, but it should have been in off that second one. Clemson just needs to tighten up a little bit, just dust themselves off. I think they're surprised by how well UNCW is playing, as are all of us except for the UNCW fans who have believed this whole time. As we dive into game 4, could be the last game of the series, could be before a best of 5. We'll have to wait and see as UNCW puts the pressure on early, but Beans does well to put it into the corner. Enzo relieves even more of that pressure with a demo. This could be a play, but a not great first touch coming out. Reticle able to put it away from them, but is able to get boost in the midfield. Beans and Masso both low boost. I don't hate that double commit. That buys the ball right to Enzo. Sluggish off ceiling. Hello. They're trying to match speed for speed. This could be a shot, a whiff. But the second one goes in, just as I was talking about earlier. That is what Clemson will need to get back into this series. Not the third man hitting the shot. They need the second man to do it, and Beans Mode is up to the task. 1-0 in Game 4, Clemson up against UNCW.
They still had to use the crossbar for safety on that one, and I'm not a big fan of that. If you're still shooting that crossbar, hoping that it goes bar down in, you either have a lot of faith in your shooting or you're not feeling that touch. Steve, off the kickoff, man, UNCW, again, the pace has just jumped exponentially. Clemson is one of those teams where if you cannot play to their tempo, they're going to just beat you. It might be a 5-4 game at the end of the day, but their offense and their pressure and just the speed that they play at, they rat boost so well. They're so good at playing at higher tempos and higher pace. If you can't keep up with that, you're going to get killed in a series. So UNCW, to be having this one on double match point, they're playing at a much higher tempo than they did last season. And that was, again, one of the biggest question marks going into this. How do they look as a unit, and how do they look in terms of speed of play? And they're able to now put kind of some of those worries of mine to rest. They look cohesive as possible. They look so good. Their defense looks so stout, and they're able to play up tempo. They're able to play with a lot of speed behind them and not kind of, find themselves lost in the sauce. They're now able to keep up with these teams like Clemson, and going to be a dangerous Seahawk roster to go through C3 fall 2025, but still got 3 minutes and some change on the clock here. Tie ball game. Clemson holding their ground very well in UNCW half. Big time demo opens the net, and just like that, Bean's going to snipe in a second.
Wow. I mean, that Clemson pressure that we've been speaking about all series is coming in with a demo on the back line. Steve thought someone would be there, but no. They were in pieces. And unfortunately, Nate might be in pieces if this is the scoreline that keeps up in this Game 4. UNC not going away silently. They have a chance. They often strike quickly. I've noticed off kickoffs, that tends to be where they get a goal or two. And that's not saying that they're a kickoff team. It's just that they have very, very fast counterattacks and are better suited for that situation. When you play against Clemson, Clemson tends to take their time, build that pressure up slowly until it finally bursts. But UNCW looks like they just pop immediately. They give you no warning. You don't know it's coming, and that's what makes them so scary. Enzo able to keep it in for Clemson, but Sluggish does well to keep it in the corner. Should be able to beat Masso, but Masso able to pre-jump off the ceiling to get him. Same play as before. Doesn't go high this time. Could be a pass mid, but is beat. Oh no, could have been an over-commit. Ping off the post. Great stand by Reticle, and this is going the other way and into the net. Reticle does it end to end. Beans Mode gets dunked on that play. Massa with not a great touch, not keeping it close enough. Reticle puts that top left 2-2. Wow, what a game we're having so far. What a series we're having so far. UNCW ties it up.
Massa wanted to get that touch into the corner, and just, again, like you said, not the best first touch, didn't keep it close enough, didn't put it far enough away from the oncoming player, and UNCW capitalizes. You need to capitalize on these mistakes, and unfortunately for Clemson, there's been plenty of them to capitalize on, but they've also had great looks. Sluggish, great save there coming off the backboard. Has Reticle at the mid, looking to link up, but great anticipation defense coming out from Clemson. Team bump in the corner. Mossau gonna dive, makes Steve a little bit awkward here. Looking to go backboard. Beans, not the best touch, but able to recover and find another save. Clemson being put in the pressure cooker with under a minute and a half to go here in what could be their final game of week 1. Clemson need to get things started. Gonna be Mossau down below, bails out of the touch. Now is able to recover up that side wall. Ceiling touch down. Steve not gonna be able to find the touch. Awkward bounce off the woodwork, but Steve will regain. Gets demoed for their patience on the back line. Enzo, big time dunk, plenty of boost for Steve to wrap this one around. Mossau rips a shot on target. Reticle again, great save. Under a minute to go here, and Clemson are fighting. Do not want to send this one to another OT. Do not want to leave their week 1 lives up to golden goal. Steve trying to cook something up off the backboard. Drop down teammate there. Sluggish can bail out of the touch. This is an open net, but they are able to turn, cut this one off, put it back to the sidewall. Clemson taking advantage, puts the shot on, but Steve pinch off the crossbar. Beans follow-up shot, double tap off target, and now Steve has possession. Masao smothering touch. Beans, one more touch back mid. That's going to find the angle off the demo. Beans with the hat trick, and Clemson stay alive here in the last 30 seconds of game 3.
Not like this. Not like this. A slow roller into the bottom right. A great shot from the Clemson offense, but that's something that you start slamming your desk for if you're a UNC player. That's a tilter right there, unfortunately. But Sluggish does not seem to care. He went for it, but unfortunately gets beat out. Masao with Enzo in support. Could be a double and may be the dagger. What a shot coming out from Masao. We, I think, are going the distance.
I think we're slated to open up the season with 10 straight games on broadcast, barring an absolute masterclass coming out from UNC Wilmington. It could be done. We've seen crazier things happen, and their kickoffs have been the strong part of their game. Steve off the kickoff, not able to find it on the top of the car. Sluggish on the follow-up. 7 seconds, a kickoff and a dream. UNC Wilmington still in this one.
Nate is losing his mind right now. I can hear him all the way from where I am. Good Lord, UNCW likes playing these close. But if they are able to get another kickoff, which we've seen them do time and time again in this series, speaking of, that's a kickoff strat. Could there be someone mid? There's the touch. Oh, but it's off target. Oh, you want that one back. Is able to keep it up. Sluggish is, but it's going to bounce before it hits the corner. What a game. This series, as tight as it's been, has been back and forth. Each team slowly riding that momentum that they're gaining. It's really, really fun to watch. I thought, and shame on me for thinking this, Clemson and UNCW have proved me wrong. I thought that the 1-2 series, the UNC Charlotte and the Winthrop series was going to be the highlight, but everything's going to be a highlight. UNCW and Clemson are making this the series to watch. They saw the first one and thought, no, let's make this the highlight reel. I think that UNCW, if they're going to take the cake, Nate, on this one, we're going to have to see them get out of that pressure a little bit better. That there were cracks starting to show, and that pressure from Clemson is working. It's frustrating if you're a UNC fan because they do have really good kickoffs. They have really good counterattacks.
Yeah.
But you feel like you want that offensive pressure sustained for longer. But if it works for them, they could prove me wrong. They might not need it to take this series home.
Yeah, and I mean, we're trading games. No team has won 2 in a row. Been 1-goal games all the way across. We've had 2 overtimes so far. We're in store for another Game 5 banger here to open up the season. Game 2 or match 2 of week 1 here for the C3 stream. Welcome in, everyone. I know we probably had some people filter in and out, but you guys are in store for an absolute treat. This has been a immaculate series to follow up what was an even better one to kick things off, and things are trending the way it is. We're in for another nail biter here between Clemson and UNC Wilmington. Get to see kickoff here for game 5, and Wilmington looking to take this one out of their own corner with Steve. Sluggish lining up the double, getting it back mid. Had Steve waiting in the wings, but Enzo privy to the idea. Gonna be able to play spoiler to that plan. Reticle up early, able to find the boom downfield. 2 up, fake it, and it's gonna be Sluggish now to put a shot on target. And Wilmington right now playing with a little bit of flair. They're playing with some confidence going into game 5. We'll see if that comes back to bite them, as Clemson and their speed and their pressure is going to make things tough to deal with. And we see it come out there. The demo off rip, opening minute, Clemson's on the board.
Wow. I read in chat that Nuts said it was going to be a grueler of a game 5. And honestly, I'm here for it. And right away, we see it. A minute in, we see a demo play for a goal. Hopefully UNC is able to respond with one in kind. The only thing that I missed out on last series was in overtime. So hopefully these teams are able to give it to me. But if the pressure stays on, oh no! Redicle's going to want that one back. Nate was happy. That roller coaster of emotions that he just had must be insane. The whips, the nerves, it's all starting to come out. And another demo from Clemson, able to make it 2-0. A grueler maybe only for the UNCW squad. Clemson is starting to take charge. That pressure they built up throughout this series is starting to show. UNCW needs to get one back right here if they want any hope of staying in this series.
Need to show that they're still the kings of kickoffs here, as Clemson almost able to find one. Still might be Masau. Absolute laser in for goal number 3, 90 seconds into game 5. Clemson have found their largest lead of the night, and they are doing it in the clutchest moment possible. Game 5 in week 1. Like Nate said, with the change to the format, this means that every week matters. A loss here can honestly, if you're a high enough seed, chalk your chances to make top 8. You need to be able to win these, and Clemson, being the higher seed going into this, need this win. Every game matters. Every goal matters here in game 5. A dangerous touch from Enzo. Reticle might be able to capitalize, but Enzo, great secondary touch off that defensive play. Now Masau looks to go laterally down the pitch, but UNCW start to establish that midfield once more. They grab a demo. The Beans able to replace the man in the graveyard. Try to take this one out of their corner. Masau, one more touch needed. Can't find it. Enzo, lone man back. Able to use the attacker to find the clear down the pitch, and UNCW now have to reset on offense.
Popping it up for a teammate for UNC, but is cut off. Faking it out for a teammate on the side of Clemson. That pressure starting to build again. 2 UNCW players, low boost. It could be bad. A whiff coming out from Steve. And some of you watching may say, well, why isn't that immediately punished? Well, these players are so good that whiffs like that are rare. No one's expecting it. They expect them to have the best touch. And when something like that happens, more often than not, they aren't ready for it. A great counterattack coming out from UNCW, but they're not able to capitalize on it. Ball goes down. Beans mode out of boost. Could be peak time, but Sluggish elects to pass it off. Not enough boost in his tank for it. Bouncer up for Reticle. Steve, are you up for it fast enough? Beans mode, low boost, able to cut it off anyway. Sluggish trying to get this back mid, but again, Beans mode is able to cut it off. Really standing strong, having Clemson's back. I think Beans mode is the spine. I say that as he whiffs. Sluggish going to put pressure mid. Could be a shot, but Enzo is able to save that one away. Steve in the corner, full tank of boost. Pressure on, 2 Clemson players, low boost, but again, Beans mode able to break that pressure. Pinch comes out, could be a cherry pick from Reticle. Will he mess up? No, he's blocked out. I thought surely that was an open net, but no, a Clemson defender is able to get back and get a demo. Reticle trying to keep that pressure on, but Beans mode, how do you do it? Keeping that pressure on UNCW, it's open, should be a goal, but Sluggish off the respawn, able to put that one away. Back fake, Sluggish again, keeping the series 3-0.
Clemson really just holding their dominance here in game 5, and this is an uncharacteristic game coming out from UNCW. They're being smothered on their own half, not able to find anything to break away. Might be able to find one here, but that second man just so cautious on the side of UNCW, and then the third man throws themselves at the ball. Now it's a scramble back on defense for Wilmington. Sluggish, not able to find the chain dash through and try to pick up some pace behind it. Steve now puts it to the sidewall. Moss out to receive. They're going to be happy to play in the air above the rim, draining more time off the clock. Beans going to get dunked. Now as we head into the final seconds, this may all be just a formality. Final 10 on the clock. UNCW might be putting up a donut here instead of a cake for Nate, as Clemson is able to withstand, force the game 5, seal the deal with a dominant 3-0 shutout against UNCW to open up week 1. Things looked shaky and Wilmington looked great, but Clemson comes out victorious.
Wow. Wow, absolute nail biter of a series. Not the way UNCW fans want it to go, but it is what it is. Going into this, we thought that Clemson was the better team and that it wasn't going to be close. But UNCW, they put up a really, really strong fight aside from that game 5. It was back and forth the whole series, like you said earlier. And it's a couple of shots, a couple of mistakes, but easily fixable ones if you're a UNCW fan. It's something that can and will be fixed, I'm sure, going into the next series. A great look for the season opener for that team.
Absolutely. I mean, Clemson again, they were the favorites. They are the higher seed, but this was much more like our first match of the night where it was a toss up. These guys are close enough in seeding that we're going to see this be a tough clash. And I gave the edge to Clemson. I thought that it was going to be a much closer contest, um, but or a close much better contest for Clemson, but it ended up being much closer for UNCW. And I mean, outside the outlier 3-0 in game 5, 1-goal games across the board, 2 overtimes. UNCW, they just need to figure out how to get some legs underneath them to go the distance. And this is going to be a dangerous team, but I think that Clemson, as they start to get more reps, again, this is a new roster. They're still getting things worked out, still working out some of the kinks. They're going to be at the top end for D3. I think that they could even be a team that could surpass USC as that 3 seed, but we'll have to see. Coming up next, we do have a player interview. We got Enzo from Clemson coming up next for a quick interview before our final match of the night. So we're going to throw this one to a quick break. Stay right there as we'll be back with our winners interview with Enzo from Clemson.
tucked your way into my heart. Oh, you look at me in ways I never loved. With you I know that this is all, so I don't need to take it slow. If you want me, then I believe that there's a simple remedy. We don't need no miracle. I think we've seen it all. Just make the call. I'll come running over. We don't need no miracle. It's unconditional. Just make the call, and I'll be yours. I'll come running over. We don't need no miracle. It's unconditional. Just make the call, and I'll be yours.
Welcome back in. Thank you for sticking around. After the short break, we have Enzo from Clemson after taking the Game 5 win against Wilmington here in Week 1. First off, welcome to the stream. Welcome to C3. Enzo, how are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling great. How are you doing?
I'm doing, man. I'm doing great. I love when y'all ask how I'm doing because I'm always having a great time. But I feel like I'm always the one asking questions, never answering them. So I appreciate that. Uh, to just kind of kick things off, new addition to the roster, kind of shaking things up. How do you feel you guys like? How do you feel you guys have come from just being a fresh 3 stack to where you guys are now? Because I know it's been a pretty short amount of time.
Um, I feel like I have pretty good expertise and a very like good understanding of the game and how to play. And I feel like I've been very adamant and on them about small mistakes that we all make as a team, about the
Mhm.
emphasis on team plays, the emphasis on forcing challenges to teammates, the emphasis on if you're committing, you have to commit. Trying to force them to see the play style that I've been coached in the past.
Yeah, and I mean, it has seemingly been a rough transition period. You can see kind of the old lingering play style of Clemson, and then we saw flashes of it throughout that series of the team plays coming through, the demos, the kind of playing for your teammates. Uh, is that a harder thing to do than just kind of going in and being a plug and play, or is it really just that you're trying to change for the better because you guys are going to be facing a lot of tough competition, not just here in C3 but in other leagues? Is it just a you guys looked at this roster from their results past and said, hey, there needs to be some type of switch up because you guys have the talent but maybe not the results to back it? Has it been an emphasis to make those changes actively?
The changes are more of when I see them make mistakes, I will point that out rather than looking at
Mm,
what they've done in the past or the habits that they had with different teammates. They've gotten used to playing with me and they play differently with me than they did with other people. So I'm not
gotcha.
going to look back and like recommend to change something that they aren't actively doing anymore. And I've been extremely adamant about implementing certain things, and they've been extremely receptive, and I think we are like improving very quickly as a roster. I mean,
Mhm.
during the USC match and the match that we had after that, we saw a lot of mistakes, a lot of like not playing for our team. So we really like locked in on focusing on the team plays in between the past like 3 or 4 days, focusing very heavily on trying to play for each other. And I think we're doing really well at implementing it in. Obviously, there's moments where we don't and we make the mistakes, but I think that's all individual mistakes rather than something that's wrong with the game plan.
Yeah, I mean, again, you can see flashes of it throughout that series against Wilmington, and I was gonna bring up the win over USC. Do you guys feel like you guys are now kind of into that bubble of top three now with Charlotte, USC, and now Winthrop with how they've been playing? Are you guys now kind of breaking into into that tier one of the Carolina collegiate teams?
I mean, I think we'll end number one, but I think right now we aren't at that level where I can say with confidence that we just are the best. We still have to make we still have to make the improvements and work towards being the best. But I think we're there.
Man, I love that mentality. Always want to be the best, and I think that you guys are definitely on a really good trajectory to be right up there with some of the top dogs. And I appreciate your time. I'm not going to take too much of your evening away from you, but before we have you head out, do you have any shout outs you want to give to maybe those at home or maybe some of the guys in the program?
Shout out to my boy Devin and shout out to my
Hey,
teammates because they are what makes this possible.
absolutely. And before we let you go, real quick, I put Knight on the spot before. I'm going to put you on the spot now. UNC Chapel Hill taking on NC State. Who do you got coming out victorious on the other end?
UNCC.
All right.
I
So
think
you
they're
heard it
looking good.
here. We got one for the Chapel Hill boys. Again, Enzo, appreciate your time. Appreciate your insights behind the scenes for the boys here for Clemson. Congratulations on the win. Going to be looking forward to the rest of your season.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways. And on we'll go. remind me that this life cannot be lost forever. I watch my generation. It's so evident this world will soon be gone. Will soon be gone. Can we live for tonight? Run away. Let's run away, run away. Can we get out of sight? Fly away. Let's run away, run see the constellations. They remind me that this life cannot be lost forever. I watch my generation. It's so evident this world will soon be gone. Will soon be gone. Can we live for tonight? Run away. Let's run away, run away. Can we get out of sight? Fly away.
Welcome back in to our final match of week 1 here on the C3 stream. Somber along with Colson, man, we've had 10 straight games of just masterclass Rocket League put on display here. And next up, we got NC State taking on UNC Chapel Hill. And I know you said at the top of the broadcast that you're going to let as little bias as possible leak into this matchup. But man, talk to me about this NC State team.
I may have greatly exaggerated what I said at the beginning of the stream. I am a diehard NC State fan. I'm the head of content over there, so we're cooking up some great things. And I've seen them play a couple of games already in a different league, and they look really, really good. It's I mean it's bias, right? Like obviously Nate says the same thing about UNCW, so I'm going to say the exact same thing about NC State. We have had 10 games so far. Um, I'm hoping for 13. I'm hoping NC State sweeps UNC and gets it done in 3, and I believe in them to do it. I don't know much about the UNC Chapel Hill squad, but I do know some things about the NC State squad, and they are a much better iteration. I don't want to talk poorly about last year's iteration, but man, this year they've taken a massive, massive step up. And I would say I really want them to beat our rivals, but I don't think it'll be close enough to consider them rivals.
Them's fighting words to production right now. Uh, but yeah, I mean UNC Chapel Hill, they're one of those teams where I know back last fall they had kind of a disappointing season across the board in multiple leagues. They bounced back in spring a little bit, but I think over the summer they started to have some things click and start to work for them. So we'll see how they are able to take some momentum from the summer now into the fall, where we're seeing people on higher hours, we're seeing more scrims involved. But here we are, final match of the night. We got NC State taking on UNC Chapel Hill. Final match kicked off here for one more best of 5.
Wow, NC State. It feels good. I'm the most nervous for this game than I have been for anything else, and I think it's the bias. And speaking of nerves, there's a little bit coming out on the side of NC State. Not what you want to see if you're me, but exactly what you want to see if you are a UNC Chapel Hill fan. But it doesn't matter. Rocket Cutie puts one in the back of the net immediately. You already know I'm excited. That is the most hype I've been all night. Watching the previous games I've seen this season, that is exactly what I'm looking for. Those team plays, they must have been working on them in the past week or so because, wow, immediately out of the gate, they look strong. They look ferocious. You know what they say, wolves eat sheep, and that is exactly what I think is going to continue as this game and this series goes on.
30 seconds in, and they already put one on the board, and we've seen the passing plays be kind of the thing that these teams live or die by throughout these opening 2 matches, and maybe more of the same here with NC State kicking it off, getting an assist on the board as well as the goal in the back of the net. But hold on a second, Chapel Hill had something cooking, but no second man. Chapel Hill being very reserved on those rotations up, putting one man up front. Scorp gonna throw their hat into the ring and get a good 50. Super duper Cam, nice 50 off the sidewall. Crazy Shark comes crashing in, but Maury will find the beat. No boost to follow. We Scorp putting this one into the corner, trying to take some boost, but a big time dunk. Scorp off the back wall, has a full canister to work with, burns through almost all of it, just trying to catch up to the ball. Rocket off the sidewall, wanted a solo effort, pass back down, out mid off the rebound, and an absolute slaughter here to go in for Maury. Finds the angle, lines it up, knocks it down off their own rebound, and 2-0 now for NC State.
I see the Season 5 bronze tournament winner, and that looks like what they're playing against. My bad. I just love NC State. This is exactly what I'm hoping for from them. They look good. They look aggressive. And UNC, they don't look bad. They were able to get some pressure. At one point, they had all NC State players on 0 boost. It was just they look a little skittish. NC State, it doesn't look like they're trying to poke and prod like the previous teams have done. It looks like they're here to win immediately. They think that they're better and they believe that they are. So they've came out with a little bit more ferocity. Now that ferocity could come and bite them because just like this, not a great touch from Cam. That could have been the moment for UNC, but that ferocity does lead them to use their boost. It leads them to those awkward situations where your whole team is low boost, and that is what is going to be the tipping point for this series. If UNC is able to keep NC State overcommitting in situations kind of like that, then it will be a close series. But that is one that if you're a Tar Heel, you would want back. That was it seemingly open net, but we won't really know. UNC able to get some pressure on, but NC State able to bring it back. Pop out mid, trying to buy some time for their teammates. Keeping it in the zone, but even on this attack, UNC doesn't have any boosts and leaves it open. A cherry-picking Blubber misses it and puts it safely in the way of UNC Chapel Hill.
Rocket gonna look for a heat check because it finds the back wall instead. Cam gonna take their time, find one more touch. And UNC burning through a lot of boost to just catch up to the ball after these heavy-handed first touches, and maybe chalk it up to some game 1 nerves, maybe a little bit of rust. Despite the decent summer performances they had nationally, they are still coming in and maybe trying to find their way back into a rhythm. NC State gonna line up another shot off the double from Maury. Will be denied by the Chapel Hill defense. Or solo play, past one, looking for the second, but Maury, great defense to keep this one up 2-0 here for NC State. Looking to put a third on, but still seeming content with the current score line as they're playing with a lot of pressure, and pressure equals time off the clock. We're now under the 90-second mark here in game number 1. NC State playing very comfortably with their lead and just continuing to put touch after touch firmly into this blue half. Maury off the backboard, wanting to line up one. Shot does fall through. Rebound gonna be dunked by Blubber, and that one's gonna fall through for a NC State goal number 3 and a dominating game 1 coming out the gate here for the Wolfpack.
An unlucky touch coming out from the side of UNC Chapel Hill. Blubber follows their initial shot and gets rewarded for it. not the game one you want if you are a UNC Chapel Hill fan, but exactly what the pack is looking for. That confidence has been building the whole game, but it might break. UNC able to keep some pressure on, but Rocket able to pick up a full boost, backflipping and then double committing. It is a little awkward in the corner. This could be an opportunity, but UNC doesn't capitalize on it. If Scorp had left that for his teammate, that might have been the moment that they needed. Unfortunately for them, Mori is on the attack. Blubber whiffs. It's real awkward out there. Everyone is panicking, trying to make the next great touch, but you don't need the great touch. You just need the better touch than the opponent. And right now, with no one hitting the ball, just hitting it would suffice. As things calm down in the last 10 seconds of this match, it is a sure thing that NC State will take this one home. Let's see if Chapel Hill is able to take one for the road. Mori keeps it up. A bump comes out from Rocket Cutie. One is up. Scorp, shot, misses. Mori, can you finish it? Cam saves it away. Scorp keeps it up. Super Cam could be there. Another shot, more pressure, but that one goes wide. This could be it. Double commit out from UNC, and the ball goes down. Game one goes to the Wolfpack.
NC State gonna be a commanding game one. They went up 2-0 very early, found that third goal in crunch time, really put this one kind of in emphasis of UNC Chapel Hill. Said, hey, we're here to play. You're gonna have to jump up to our level and really match our tempo here. As NC State just had full control of the lobby. I mean, the shots are insane. 10 shots to the side of NC State. They didn't have to play as much defense as you would like to see them if you're a fan of the Tar Heels. But yeah, I mean, again, this is my first look at this brand new NC State roster, and the eye test shows they're gonna be one to watch out here for NC3. Maybe not at the top end like what we've seen, but coming out with a dominating win against Chapel Hill in game one is what you like to see here to kick things off in the opener for season here for fall 2025.
It's an impressive first game. Not biased. I could be, but I'm trying not to be. But regardless, it still is an impressive first game. I have production in my ear. I think a fan of the Tar Heels. So
Maybe just a little bit.
I'll taunt a little bit as much as I can, but I'll do my best to contain my enthusiasm as we launch into game two. NC State looking to keep that pressure on. UNC Chapel Hill looking for a strong response, but a drop down pass coming out from NC State couldn't be capitalized on. Blubber rushes back. Crazy Shark, no boost. Scorp, no boost as well. Cam, no boost as well, but a misfire out from Rocket Cutie. Don't know if it'll matter. Double commit from NC State. It kind of looks like NC State's just sending the house. It seems they're playing with kind of a blasé attitude where they know that they're faster. They say, hey, you're going to have to beat us. We can send two at a time. We can send, was that all three at a time? It was, but it still doesn't matter. UNC Chapel Hill can't capitalize, not like this. Oh, thank goodness as a Chapel Hill fan. Right off the post, this is a nail biter. I'm starting to feel bad. These are supposed to be my rivals, and not even putting up a fight. Let them get up, NC State. Okay, let me not get a little too ahead of myself. Bar down and in! Scorp tells me, be quiet. Chapel Hill is here. NC State, what are you doing? Great pass mid from Chapel Hill. Bar down and out, but Scorp lands on it and is able to put that one away. 1-0, 1 minute in. Chapel Hill up.
That was probably the purest display of a caster curse I've ever seen, with Chapel Hill just hearing it through the ether to go up, and they might find a second here. Score with the flip reset. Crazy Shark off the rebound, no good. Cam soft on the shot, cannot find it. Gonna be Blubber back out mid. Mori gonna pop that one to the backboard. 2 up for UNC. Blubber back to Rocket. Rocket back to Blubber. A little two-man razzle dazzle here for NC State, but it's going to be denied on the goal line by UNC. Crazy Shark wanted to get that clear out. Mori does well to put some pressure off ball on UNC to try to make a play happen. Blubber back mid looking for Rocket. Rocket goes close post. Crazy Shark right there to pinch it away. That ball going to go the wrong direction for now, but ends up in the hands of Mori. With Blubber wanting to look downfield for Rocket. Everyone gets tangled up on the side of NC State. Bernard will find the pinch off the backboard right into the hands of Scorp, though, and that's a slot. Scorp finds a second here for Chapel Hill.
Wow. Yeah, this is a caster curse if I've ever seen one. But wow, Chapel Hill looks like the best team in the world. I don't think anyone can stop them. Wow, they're just so amazing. Trying to get it back for us, trying to make it a little even. I'm sorry to the pack for this one and all the fans out there. That one is on me. These two are on me as Scorp doubles up. The pressure is starting to build. Another double commit. That carelessness that I was talking about earlier, that blasé attitude about this game is starting to bite them. They're double committing in inopportune times. As I say that, Mori, what are you doing? It goes off the post. I know you're better than that, but is able to stay on the play as much as they can. Another touch could be a pass off the corner to themselves. Rocket Cutie able to 50 it out and sent away by UNC, but the pressure still on. Mori with a clear. Not a great first touch right to the opponent and cleared away by UNC. Blubber is going to have to do well here and does to get it out. UNC keeping that pressure on, the pressure that I was boasting and so boastful of, I regret it already, is starting to go back to Chapel Hill. They're starting to begin to believe. And if you're NC State, if you come out with that confidence and have it shattered, that's when I would be worried. I have yet to see them really break away and then have to come back at the end. But if I believe, and I do, I think they will be able to do it.
We'll see as 2 minutes on the clock and possession play here for NC State. Pre-jump not on target with Mori. End up dunking it right underneath the pass from Rocket. Crazy Shark is up and able to put this one further into NC State territory. That pinch goes nowhere as Blubber look downfield. Cam does well to guard the team pass. Will be a long clear all the way across. Another clang off the sidewall. Going to go wayward on the shot attempt, but it is nice to see NC State starting to formulate a game plan here. Under 90 seconds to go. Pinch pass back out mid. Scorpio intercept. Looking for Cam downfield. Crazy Shark does not find contact on the touch, but Scorp will be there to clean up. And these big long clears down the field, not just wasting time, but putting NC State on their back foot, but does not matter. They find a lane to strike, and Mori finally finds the first here for the Wolfpack.
Mori with a clanger, splitting the two UNC defenders. And UNC Esports talking a little bit in the chat. Commentator's been quiet. I'm just letting the game talk, you know? We're coming back. That pressure's building. But I'm going to be quiet again as I don't want to have another caster curse moment. Great 50 coming out in the midfield. Pre-jumping from UNC. Who's going to take control? We have a parking jam. What is going on? A traffic jam in the midfield, but NC State does well to break out of it. Demo on the back line. This could be dangerous if NC State isn't careful, but Blubber is able to get in the way. Into the corner, pass mid. No one is there for NC State. We'll see if they can make a play of it. Pressure is still on. NC State players are staying. Pass comes down. Ball goes up and tapped away by the UNC team. Pinch into the corner. NC State desperate for this last goal to tie it up. But right now, the UNC Chapel Hill defense is stalwart. Nothing is getting through. Good 50 into the corner. Pop up. Demo. Could be a shot. Fake for a teammate. Blocked away. What a read from UNC Chapel Hill with 10 seconds left in the game. Another pop up. 7, 6. Come on, NC State. You got to go. You got to send the house. You don't have time. They're just going to let it drop. And that is it. Not the 3-0 sweep that I was hoping for, but an entertaining series nonetheless. I guess I'll take that second if I don't get what I initially hoped for.
UNC Chapel Hill just kind of put a masterclass on draining the clock right at the end of the game there. They were able to take the final 70 or so seconds and just deplete all of it. Gave NC State kind of no hope. They really just eliminated the clock away from NC State and took away every opportunity that they had. And NC State, again, the shot total staggering in difference from UNC Chapel Hill, just showing that they were much more efficient. A 2 for 2 for score, one shot apiece for Crazy Shark and Cam, and then again 9 shots to the side of NC State, but only 1 goal to show for it. You're going to need to be able to sink those shots. A lot of things into crossbar, a lot of double taps that end up in corner. You're going to need to be able to tighten things up if NC State wants to make this one a quick one. But as we start trading games again, I would be remiss to say that it's not just par for the course. We've had 10 straight games where it has gone back and forth up to game 4, and then one team either wins 2 straight or they come back and trade another game, and it goes to whoever won the first. So maybe we're in store for 15 straight. But again, the eye test is that NC State, they look like there is a clear skill diff here in the lobby. But I think that they were a little bit too nonchalant going into it, treated it too much like a ranked game. You're just playing Clang and Chase. You gave up some easy goals, didn't go in your favor. And now you find yourself down or tied up in looking at this one as a best of 3 now instead of a best of 5. And you need to win two straight to go ahead and wrap this up in an efficient manner. But we get to see now heading into game 3 if NC State's able to lock back in or if Chapel Hill just had to knock off the rust in game 1.
Yeah, what you said it perfectly. The criticism that I have as UNC Chapel Hill slams one into the back of the net. 1-0
Disgusting.
for Chapel Hill. One of the criticisms I have for NC State is that their creativity is sometimes lacking. I'm not just a glazer. I'm not a blind fan. I see what's going on, and like you said, they're playing like it's ranked, and it's not. This team is good enough, much to my chagrin and my disbelief. Chapel Hill is good enough to beat you and are clearly proving it as they're up in the 3rd game. There has to be that creativity that we saw in game 1 from NC State, but it's like they got overconfident. They started to overheat. They thought, oh, this was easy. We got them in game 1 and it's over. And you should know that that is never the case. The pressure staying even right now after the first few seconds of the game. A lot of double commits coming out for NC State as a great beat from Crazy Shark, but Scorp does not have enough boost to follow. Cam with the pass to Crazy Shark. Awkward positioning for NC State. A shot that you wish you could have back, but a great pass mid. This could be the moment, but it's just blasted away. That's the moment that creativity needs to shine for the pack. There needs to be a pass mid. There needs to be a solo play. But if you have no boost, why are we sending the ball straight down? But this is what I'm hoping for. Rocket Cutie with a dagger into the bottom of the net. NC State finally showing that creativity. Great pass, great shot from the Wolfpack. 1-1.
Phenomenal read off that bounce from the corner. It was a little bit awkward, but you saw the little like 1 1/4 air roll to make that adjustment to go ahead and drop it in the bucket here for NC State. Tie ball game, 90 seconds in. Cam gonna stay patient. A little bit of a farm there for the extra 25 on the epic save. Crazy Shark, not the best touch. Gets tangled up with their teammate. A little bit of ping pong there right in front of the net. We're playing some spaghetti ball. Everyone just loose in front of the opposing net. Another save coming out for Chapel Hill. Back pass to Maury. Crazy Shark to maybe intercept, but a touch too slow to the ball. Trying to cut across the entire width of the pitch. Blubber to the corner. Going to be a harsh bounce down. Good 50 though. Maury can't find the shot. Rocket right back to the back wall. Scorp is there to cover. Rocket again. Awkward touch. Makes it awkward here for Chapel Hill to try to get through. Big time miss, but Scorp again coming through and playing savior on the back line for Chapel Hill. Maury to the corner. Needs one more touch. Gets demoed for their efforts. Rocket couldn't get a handle on it. Big time dunk from Scorp, but Maury off the respawn is there and is able to make the defensive stop. Cam shoots from the midfield stripe, goes high, looking for their own rebound, but great save again coming out from North Carolina State. They're not able to find anything right now on the way of offense. Both teams playing a lot of great defense here, but shots need to be higher quality. The follow-up needs to be quicker. These defensive plays, while they are impressive, are coming out too often. Crazy play here off the backboard. Blubber not able to find the angle in, though. Everyone low boost, trying to scramble back for NC State. Blubber trying to start the counter. Not able to find it. Cam on the opposite side. Will leave it for Crazy Shark. Carry across. Able to find it past one, but again, the second man not there. These shots are not leading to anything for either side. Need to be quicker on the follow-ups to try to punch these ones through.
A great clear coming out from NC State, and if you are a fan of the pack, that's what you want to see. Full boost, creativity, not there. Blubber is up, just needs a beat. Someone should be up in the pack, but it is tapped away by Cam safely into the corner. NC State, pressure is on them now. Great cut, but it seems like there's a couple of miscues. Not huge miscues, not like there were in game 2, but there are small miscues leading the team to be slightly out of position. I say that, speaking of out of position, Chapel Hill gets demoed, but should be saved away from UNC. boomer ball right back into the middle, but is saved away from Scorp. Scorp has been nothing short of phenomenal in this series so far, both on offense and defense. It is amazing. The heart of the team, even. A pass infield, but no one there to receive it. Rocket QT there, tries to get over one and does successfully. Cam blasts it back in. Teammates for NC State should be able to have boost at this time. Someone needs to be up. Great bump, and it could be a counterattack, but no boost coming out for Mori as it's cleared back into the UNC corner.
A lot of difficulties with resource management on the side of NC State. You got one back with boost, but then when you get that touch out, no one has any resources available to start a counter. Blubber does have plenty of boost, but they commit hard on an angle. Will be a pass out to Cam. Cam looking to go once more. It will be a hard bounce out towards the midfield. We might be destined for OT, but UNC Chapel Hill, they had an opportunity. Rocket, good pre-jump. Crazy Shark looking for the read down below. Corp will keep it alive. Mori gonna just opt to not go for a 0-second drill. The shot gonna find the corner. We see our first overtime here in our third match, the third on the night. See who comes out on the other side.
UNC Chapel Hill, as sad as I am to say it, has all of the pressure in this game too. I say that Scorp no boost, wasn't able to grab the Bass boost. Where's the follow-up from NC State? They're not on the same page as they were on game one. It's unfortunate to see Mori is playing boomer ball, trying to set up their team, but it's not working out as they begin to stabilize. Oh my goodness, no way, but there's no follow-up with the third. I lied! I didn't even see it! I should have kept my mouth shut. That is the caster curse that I want every single day of the week. No one's there from NC State. Prove me wrong, Rocket. Do it again. NC State takes game 3 and goes up 2-1 in the series.
Big time win here for NC State, and as you can tell, the booth is a little excited for it. But again, it came down to one goal. The fact that it came down to a golden goal situation, and again, that game one, NC State showed that there should be a skill diff. There should be a big difference in how this team plays against UNC Chapel Hill, but they're being scrappy enough to take it to them. The save numbers are absolutely insane across these first 3 games for UNC Chapel Hill. It's 5 saves for Scorp, 2 for Cam and Shark apiece, but it's not enough to keep that final goal out. And again, NC State, you were talking about it. It ended up being the overtime winner, but that second man is just so slow to the punch. They need to be able to play a little bit quicker because Chapel Hill is playing with a lot of time on defense. You need to scramble them. You need to frazzle them. And we're not seeing that like we did in game 1. NC State is on double match point, but we've seen that every match so far. A team going up 2-1. It looks so great. And then they drop the next game and force game 5, and then it's a toss-up. You do not want to take it to that game 5 toss-up match. You want to try to seal the deal here, and you need to just be tighter on your rotations, be a little bit cleaner, cut down on the double commits, and NC State can go ahead and button this one up.
I'm really hoping. I mean, no, I'm not. I'm here for a game 5, like any good unbiased caster should be. But I completely agree. As much as NC State should be happy that they're up 2-1 in the series, I'm concerned as a fan and as a caster. They don't look great. It's a toss-up. That even though it's a win for them in the end, it's not a convincing one. Not like it was in game 1. Not convincing. Mori almost kept my mouth shut, but a pinch out from UNC Chapel Hill alleviates some of that pressure. NC State looking like they're starting to wake up. It's like they fell asleep at the wheel a little bit after that game 1 and are starting to pick up the pieces. I say that as no one is there for the follow-up mid. Blubber just cuts again. Could be a shot, and it's a goal. Slicing up the entire defense of UNC Chapel Hill. Blubber doesn't need the second man. Blubber will just do it themselves. It's a 1v3, and he comes out on top. An impressive play for NC State, up 1-0 in game 4.
This is what you need to try to seal the deal. We saw that when Chapel Hill went up 2-0 in game 2, their lone victory on the scorecard so far. They went up early and they held the ball. They were able to play possession. They were able to just sit back and play comfortably on defense. And That's what you do not want to get yourself locked into, forcing a game 5 off of just pure possession. But right now, NC State find a second, a very quick follow-up goal, and this is what you like to see. A team that in game 1 put up a dominating 3-0 performance. They're coming out and showing the offense once more. And now you kind of open up the floodgates. You can play a little bit more comfortable now. The double commits are still going to be an issue that you need to tamp down on, but if you give up 1 here, you can bounce back. You're up by 2. You got that cushion. You get to play with a little bit more confidence as Rocket goes up confidently. Looked like it was going to be good, but the defense comes out better for it on the side of Chapel Hill. This one going to be a launch straight up. Scorp to receive a touchdown field. Rocket looking for Blubber. Blubber downfield. Maury off the backboard, wanted to try to make the extension play, but could not. And again, that's where you see the confidence. You're going off backboard, trying to boost back to midfield to find the redirect. And now it's an open net. Scramble on the back line for UNC. And NC State ties their biggest lead of the night.
You look at Rocket Cutie, who gets that pass to mid for Blubbernard, and you, in that replay, can see all 3 UNC players under the ball. The miscommunication breakdowns that I was talking about NC State seem to be happening for UNC as Cam is able to get it done and cleared. Cutie with a pop-up, but Cam is there to read it. Could be a pass, but is beat out by Maury. The speed from NC State is starting to show up, but that overconfidence is still a factor. Something that happened in game 2 when they went down and lost. That overconfidence can break them, but maybe it's not overconfidence. Maybe it's just confidence. That last part of the puzzle is there. The third person in that attack is able to follow up and score and put away the goal. That was the piece that they were missing. That was the creativity I was criticizing them on. And it seems that they've solved it. They've got that last piece of the puzzle. And now their confidence should be brimming as it goes 4-0 in game 4.
And again, the overconfidence is the double commits on the goal line that we saw in the past couple games. Is you have these golden opportunities and then 2 go and you end up 50ing your own teammate on accident or lessening the quality of the shot. But now you have that third man as a quick follow instead of a double commit. And that's what the difference between high confidence and overconfidence. And right now, NC State playing very confidently on the offensive side. The defense a little bit scrambled, but Chapel Hill not able to capitalize. Crazy Shark trying to wrap around the backboard, but Maury will win out the foot race into the corner. Scorp to the backboard once more. Rocket able to clear it off and into the corner. Scorp right there, trying to go once more back mid. Cam not able to find a shot. Crazy Shark keeps it contained here in the corner, and we're just going through the rinse cycle here and just going once again through the corner. But Maury able to finally find a touch out. Rocket gonna bail out of the play. Now look back to their own back line. Blubber to the sidewall. Hope their teammates can grab some boost and make a play, but instead it's Cam right on the ball. We'll launch this one back. Rocket downfield, pop past 1, and that's a great doink and their hat trick as that puts on a 5th here in what should be a commanding game 4 victory for NC State.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the chat right now, and chatter is correct. It's UNC just doesn't have a bite on offense. Again, they had all 3 of NC State's players no boost as Rocket Cutie puts in a 4th. Good Lord, this is even worse of a stopping than game 1. Now, I still could curse it, so I won't say anything yet. But NC State looks phenomenal. It seems they've brought it back together and have able to put their boot down, trying to finish out this series in 4. As the pressure builds again, Rocket, man of the match, pass down, no one's there. Yes, they are! That's what I'm looking for! Blubber, let's go! A great creative play. Flick over one. Maple touches it down to beat the last defender. Blubber immediately follows up, putting it in the back of the net. This is worse than a Brazil right now. You got to let Chapel Hill score. It's 7-0. Even they had won. It's a really impressive showing for NC State. Everyone else in this league should be on watch.
Despite the absolutely crooked number that they're hanging up on Chapel Hill right now, I don't think that NC State is at that level yet. I can see the aspirations, to get to that tier 1 here in C3 and be in that top 4 conversation, but we'll have to see as the season goes on, because again, this is week 1. This is players still kind of like what Knight was saying, at least for Charlotte. These are players that are just now knocking off the rust. They're just now getting into their rhythm, as school's been happening for a couple weeks, but you're still kind of, getting settled with your class schedule, getting settled with your practices and your scrims and all that. So NC State looking like it's going to be a force to be reckoned with, at least here in C3, after putting an absolute whooping on Chapel Hill to wrap out game 4. They're not looking to just drain out the clock. They're looking to put up a staggering score line, 8-0. And right now, 30 seconds left on the clock. UNC Chapel Hill, excuse me, is looking to just end this one out. They're happy just playing time in their own half. Maybe going to give a 9th here to Maury, but they're not able to find the second touch. Scorp will find the clear out, but Rocket pre-jumped that one from yesterday, and we'll find the touch back down. Maury pop high. Rocket no boost. Does not matter. They're going to put the shot in, and 9-0. This is an absolute thrashing.
Well, I feel confident now. UNC Esports Twitch chatter said something to me, said I was awfully quiet now, and I hadn't until just now seen any messages coming out from them, and suddenly their tone has changed. Suddenly it's not more, oh, NC State, you should be nervous. It's, no, guys, we can be friends as we make it 10-0. The players don't want to be friends. They want to put you down. Amazing from NC State. But again, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. This is a new roster, and we have tried and true talent on the other teams already. Showings like this make me feel confident, but showings like we saw in game 2 make me falter a little bit. I think that they have the capability, maybe at their peak, but they're really going to have to raise that floor a little bit if they want to be in contention for that tier 1. Like you said, it should be all formalities at this moment, but NC State wants to keep it up. They're not done. That's just mean. Let him be done. Let him get out of the game. Let's move on to the interview. But NC State says no as it goes down into the corner. NC State takes it in 4, 10-0 in game 4. 3-1 the series scoreline.
Man, that is an absolutely crazy way to end it. We don't get 15 games, we get 14, and the 14th is a 10-0. Shout out to NC State. That was one heck of a final game to wrap up week 1 here on the broadcast. But oh man, again, kind of to your point, I think that NC State, I have a feeling that they're going to be kind of similar to the Clemson of spring from last year, where it's, you see all the potential in the world, but you still see some issues. We saw it in game 2 and 3. They didn't look phenomenal, but in games 1 and 4, they looked great. They looked like they were, a bunch of SSLs beaten up on a champ lobby. But we'll see how they continue to grow. We'll see how they continue to perform, because we got a long season. We got 7 weeks of Rocket League to play here, and NC State is going to be a part of every single one of those, and it's going to be a nice storyline to follow as we progress through the season.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Again, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Now that we're out of the game, I can go back to being unbiased, and that is my big concern with NC State. The creativity sometimes lacks, as you saw in games 2 and 3, and that's where teams that they play against break out. I mean, we said it in game 1 and 4. NC State looked like they were the better team on paper, but even still, they had close matches. That's something that shouldn't happen if you are on that team. You should be stomping them 10-0. But until they can figure that out, it still remains up in the air. Great game. GG's over to UNC Chapel Hill. And I think we are going to grab Rocket, the newcomer to the NC State squad, for our interview. Anything else you want to say, Somber, after our last match of our opening stream?
Man, this has been a great way to open up week 1 with a new format. I expect that this is going to be kind of the usual for fall here. Very excited for what's to come, and very excited to keep tabs on this NC State squad. I think that they're going to do some big things, all the potential in the world, but we'll see how it comes to fruition. But yeah, like you said, we got Rocket coming up from NC State for interview. So we're going to throw this to a quick break, get that all set up. So stay right there. We're not done yet.
Brace yourself. I can see the end in sight. 3, 2, 1. Hardwired.
Welcome back to C3 Esports League. My name is Colson, switching it up for this last interview. The bias could not be contained. I am here with Rocket Cutie from NC State. Go Pack, baby.
Go Pack.
After the only 4-game series of the night. I understand that you're the newcomer to the team. What's it like being implemented into this roster?
Oh, it's so fun. Just having the opportunities to like play. Originally, I didn't know if I was gonna be able to play here at state or if we had a team, but I got connected right in, and we've even have a tournament. Came first place in that. Let's go state.
Nice.
But it's been really fun just coming into the environment and seeing how big esports is and what a nice environment it is, even as a newcomer.
So you seem to be the star, or at least of this series. I think you had over 1,000 points in that game for 6
Mhm.
goals, if I'm remembering correctly. What changed in games 2 and 3 that made you stand out in game 4? I know there was a lot of pressure that UNC seemed to handle really well, but afterwards it seemed like you guys started to click and you were on the receiving end of most of those passes which led to goals. What changed between games 2 and 3 and then into game 4?
Yeah, I think it was really just a momentum shift. Right in the first game, we scored first and kept the momentum through that. Game two, a little bit of an awkward one. I think I was just like playing too fast, going for stupid stuff. But in game three, really and on, just keeping the momentum there. Uh, like the more we scored, the more we passed. We broke them down over and over, and so it was really just a momentum, just keeping it throughout the series, and it compounded hard in that last game there.
I clearly I saw something as I was leaving the game that one of the Chapel Hill players said, "All right, guys, Tan is a little disrespectful." He had good attitude about it, got a lull him out at the end. Um, what prompted you guys to keep scoring? At one point, there was next to no time left in the game, and you guys kept it up, kept trying to get the goal. Was that a chip on your shoulder from game two, where, like you said, you were going for goofy things, or it seemed like you weren't taking it as seriously? Was that a shift of mentality where even though you were winning by so much, by such a large margin, you weren't going to let your foot come off the gas? What changed?
I think we were really just there to have fun. Once we hit like about 3 or 4 goals, we saw the time left, and we are like, "Let's hit 1,000! Come on!" Maury had Maury had 6 assists, which was absolutely crazy. So we just wanted to keep going, keep having fun. The passing plays were there, and we kept connecting. I wanted to hit 1,000 points for the stat sheet, get our goal differential up. Just put everything on them. No disrespect to them at all. The great team. They did amazing.
I have one more question for you. It'll be, where do you think you see yourselves in this C3 league? There seems to be a clear tier one, and there's talks of you guys being on tier two, cusp of tier one, if you play like you did in games 1 and 4. If with this confidence going out of this game, where do you see yourself slotting into this league?
I'm not entirely sure how the league format works, but for our seeding at least, like I'd want to be top three, probably top two. I know UNTC has a pretty good team, like all 2Ks around there. I think we could put up a fight. Uh, Probably we could take a few games maybe. We obviously the C3 LAN is gonna be here, so I hope home field advantage we can come through with that. Come home with first. I have a friend over on Winthrop. He's pretty good as well, but I think we could beat him out. So probably rank two is what I'd shoot for. Hopefully rank one.
I like the confidence. With that confidence, is there anyone you want to shout out? Just say thank you for supporting you. Just I'll leave it open to you.
Yeah. First, obviously my teammates. We have Maury and Blubber. Ventus couldn't be here. He's with the Huz. Unfortunate circumstance, but also my mom, my dad probably watching. Nolan, let's see, Thomas, Camden, Colin. I was eating with them beforehand, so tell them about it. They're watching, hopefully. And you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for coming on to cast. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thank you for being willing to play and show off your skills in this game. That is Rocket QT. whoa, from NC State after putting a beat down on UNC Chapel Hill. It has been a long night. My throat is starting to get dry. And on that note, I will say thank you to production. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. It has been a wonderful first stream of the year for C3 Esports. Thank you all very much again from the bottom of my heart. And I hope to see you in the next one.